And what's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Capcom Pro Tour. Today we are here to decide the top 8 of Central America East. It was a beautiful top 16 yesterday with some of the finest competitors in the region. 8 of them have progressed to today. The promised land of 3 out of 5. We'll see who that favors today, of course. We got heavy hitters like Mena RD, Mono, Crossover, Ajax in the building, and many more to come. David, how are you doing, my man?
I'm really looking forward to it. Yesterday was a blast, as we knew it would be. This is one of the strongest regions in the world for Street Fighter V, and we definitely saw that play out yesterday, in part because of who made it through, and in part because of who did not, in fact, make it into this top 8. That is to say, some of the best players who you may be very familiar with, folks like Kaba, for example, folks like Hermes Venatori, for example, did not make top 8. Hermes did not make top 16, which really speaks to the depth of this region. You may think, Mena, obviously Capcom Cup champion. He has done really well at majors. Mono, not too long ago, won CEO, and he's been doing top 4s all over the place. Those may be the people who you think of the most, but this is a deep region with a ton of strong talent.
Absolutely. They've been showing out here at the top 16. I want to take a look at that bracket and see how we actually got into this top 8. If you don't mind, of course, you saw Jimmy DR starting off our bracket usually, actually, but we ended up starting with Brian D and Kaba yesterday, right? And Brian D took it 2-1 over Kaba, as you mentioned, upsetting him in the winner's side, and we saw Kaba run into some trouble in the loser's side of the bracket as well. Mono taking down Crossover 2-0, just expert management of the screen the entire time. His Fong has come so far, and really, it is a threat at any tournament it enters. And then Mena RD and Bonus GD as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mena, although at the beginning of many of those rounds, Bonus GD actually did a great job and was close to stuns and close to taking some of those rounds. Mena's defense shone out in the end, and he ended up really dominating. So that was a look at the winner's side of things. In loser's side, Ajax Fidelity, in his run 2-0 over Lilo and 2-0 over Kaba, I thought looked fantastic. So strong, he had so much control, even versus Kaba, and again, everybody knows how strong Kaba is, so very impressive stuff for him as he made it into the top 8, of course. Louis Man falling in the start of top 16, another player who we're really accustomed to seeing do well in these events and in events other places too.
Yeah, one of the finest competitors in the region, right? Always bringing a dull sim to the table as well. And that's a problem character for a whole lot of people. But he ran into that V-skill to Rashid, and we didn't even get to see the dull sim, right? He actually brought out the Rose. Didn't know really what to do against G-Roy when it came to that V-skill too. He had a couple of good anti-airs early, but G-Roy stayed persistent, switched it up a little bit more with his approach, and ended up running over Louis Man. Ran into Crossover, though, and Crossover did not want to play any of those games, right? He stuck with the V-skill to Rashid, but he ended up getting anti-air pretty effectively. Crossover doing a great job, fundamentally sound as per usual. Tenryu also able to go through Hyzek and Bonus GD after dropping down into the loser's bracket from being defeated by Mena. And of course, Strange Hale 8, 2-1 over Isaac, and then 2-0 over Zero Stress, who started the top 16 in winners and was looking like a real threat, honestly. I'm surprised at how much Strange Hale kind of dismantled Zero Stress in that last round. So Strange Hale is definitely looking good and a big threat to be reckoned with here in the top 8.
Yeah, let's talk about that top 8 now that we've gone a little bit through this top 16. What do we got here? So on winner's side, it's going to be Tigers Jimmy DR versus Bandits Mena RD. Couple of players from the Dominican Republic, of course. Red Rooster Mono versus Tigers Brian D. So that's Puerto Rico versus the Dominican Republic is also in winner's side. In loser's side, you got Strange Hale 8 from Puerto Rico. You got Tenryu versus the Dominican Republic. And then Crossover, again, Dominican Republic versus Ajax Fidelity from Red Rooster, and that, again, is Puerto Rico. So pretty good mix between the two powerhouses of this region, and what's cool about this as well is that there are some interesting battles with respect to characters. We're going to see a ton of character diversity, including some characters that are rare to see in most other parts of the world. And we're also going to get to see some battles between players who know each other extremely well, and in some cases even are training partners, are mentors of each other, and so from a bunch of different angles, this is going to be a really interesting top 8 to watch.
Whole lot of potential for sure, and in terms of the storyline front of everything, I'm definitely excited to see how it all plays out, of course. And all of these players are playing for a prize pot in addition to that Capcom Cup qualifying spot. $5,000 on the line for that top 4 prize pool. Of course, the line share going to the first place as well as that qualifying spot. So it's all about that #1 placing.
There you go. #1 will make it into the Capcom Cup. Look, there are not that many chances to do so. There's this, there's getting through the World Warrior qualification process as well, and there's next weekend, which is EVO, which is going to be an auto qualifier. Whoever wins EVO is going to qualify for Capcom Cup. But I just do want to dwell briefly on the World Warrior aspect of this. Mena RD is actually running the World Warrior event for the region. The Blink team is doing so, and he's TOing that. So he's not entering. Which means that's not actually available to him in terms of qualifying for Capcom Cup. This is his chance. EVO is his chance.
Man,
couple of tough ones. Maybe the LCQ at the very end, but these are not easy paths that he's given himself, and today's maybe his best shot.
Yeah, I think that really just kind of speaks to the confidence he has in himself, right? He's like, look, I may be the favorite in this region, but I have shown that I am more of almost a father figure to the rest of the Dominican Republic, and he has taken the TO role on and being like, no, I want somebody else from this region to join me at Capcom Cup, right? So I need to get this spot here online or get this EVO spot and then open up somebody else to get it for sure.
I love it. Yeah, he's had such a positive impact on the scene there. Now, of course, this match is what we're going to be starting out with. Ooh, Mena RD versus Jimmy DR. So far, their paths have included Mena RD taking down Bonus GD, Jimmy DR has taken down Ajax Fidelity, and Zero Stress. And now look at the ages right there. You got Mena RD,
ooh, young guns,
old man of 22 years old. He's been around forever. It was honestly 5 years ago that he won Capcom Cup. He was a youngster. Now he's an old man. Now he's an old man.
Honestly.
Whereas tiny baby Jimmy DR at the tender age of 21, just barely old enough to be doing this at all. Can you believe he's such a tiny young guy? Anyway, let's go to Mena RD, who's got a quote about all of this.
Oh, man.
Mena RD says, Jimmy is a special young player.
There you go.
His time is almost coming, but it's my time now, Jimmy. Be patient. First of all, what are you talking about?
He's a special young player. He's a young lad, as you just said.
Tiny baby Jimmy at 21 years of age, whereas old man Mena, 22 years old, is still in his prime, of course. Yeah, no, I love it. He is a person to look up to in the scene, no doubt about it, and worldwide as well. Not just because he is such a strong player, having won Capcom Cup, all these big tournaments and stuff. He's certainly very, very well known. He's also had a huge impact on the local scene, and TOing the World Warrior is part of it, certainly, but he's also been part of why there have been big tournaments in the Dominican Republic that have brought people from overseas as well. He has had a really outsized impact on the community there, and congrats to him for that. But look, he still has to do the work of actually qualifying for Capcom Cup, and as we said, this may be his best chance.
Yeah, and it's honestly so impressive that he's able to do all that stuff and then still stay as sharp as he has in Street Fighter V in-game, right? Like we said, second place, and that's the recent Saudi Arabian tournament offline. Here in the driver's seat in winter semifinals, looking to qualify, obviously going to EVO as well, with ambitions of winning the entire tournament, you know what I mean? Not just getting top 8 or anything like that, not just getting out of pools. And then he's also captaining the Team NA for the European team tournament. Like, this man does not shy away from responsibility. I love it. So this is definitely the type of player I'd like to support. Of course, he's going to be running into Jimmy DR, who is a powerhouse on the Balrog, always has been coming out of this region. So it is not going to be any easy feat getting into that winners finals, because in addition to Jimmy DR being very good, as you mentioned at the top of this, everybody's going to be very familiar with each other.
Yes.
Right? So it's like you get to play these guys all the time. They might know a habit here and there that a lot of the other top players might not know that you would expect to.
So as we load in here on the Street Fighter Duel stage, it's Boxer versus Luke. So many different characters on Mena's side that he can bring out. Jimmy is a Boxer player, for sure.
Yeah.
And he did win Central America East #2 last time, so these were the 2 qualifiers from the region in CPT last year.
Straight up, tried and true. 2 of the titans of the region, to have been to the top of the grand finals in CBT before. Oh, what a whip punish. And he even felt like that stand heavy kick whip kind of lured him into that.
And that's something we saw actually a lot from Jimmy yesterday, too, in his match. He played a lot versus Zero Stress by just V-reversaling out of the corner.
Yeah, right. That was what Jimmy was really prioritizing his V-meter usage for. Not being put on the back foot, but, oh, man, swinging for the fences really in this whole round. Lots of big buns coming out from his side. Oh, what do you mean?
That was sick. Oh, whiff punish there. I almost feel like Mena is hoping that Jimmy's going to be swinging harder than he has been, but maybe he was right there. He's got the corner.
You know, big neutral jump here. My Mena RD, bro. He has been aggressive. Respecting the +1. Great job utilizing some of that V-trigger as well. Put that great damage on him. Whittle his life down, but no. Mena RD checked on the way in.
Yeah, not just checked there, but checked in a couple of other situations. And also, again, he was really swinging for things like with the Fierce in the roundhouse, looking for big buttons, hoping that Jimmy would overcommit, and that never happened.
That was a ridiculous whip punish again, Mena RD. The performance enhancers.
Out of there again. Again, we see that's the choice. But Mena's got him right back to the same spot.
Again, another clean whip punish. Jimmy can't whip in this man's face. Mena RD turning the tide, letting them know who the powerhouse really is. Oh, and then stuffing the rush punch. No way to escape the corner. And you can see Jimmy had all that V-meter at the bottom. Didn't really get a chance to pick a good V-reversal spot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mena, I think, kind of catching on to that habit and adjusting his pressure.
Very similar start here from Mena. No confirm, but still he's got, look at this. Corner, he's in exactly the same situation. Is that a stun already? No, but next hit is surely kill.
The NV shift, he's able to deplete a little bit, but Mena RD immediately putting him on the defense again. Sand blasting. Smooth him out.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Escapes.
Yeah, very smart from Mena right there. Figured Jimmy was going to go all in on the offense.
Jimmy hunting for that activation. Low medium is the way in. And then into nothing and into patience.
Yeah, Mans was definitely scheming. Mena RD does get a dash up now. Jimmy a little bit hesitant. He knows he doesn't got a lot of life to play with.
Into nothing, and just like that. Well, it is corner, in fact. He wasn't launched away by the V-reversal.
Just a duck to the face. Okay, all right. Starting to fight his way back into this. Again, Mena respecting those plus frames. He's got a V-trigger of his own now, yeah. Immediately takes that spot to activate, and then the crouch light kick, getting the job done. Not letting Jimmy move an inch.
I thought that round, though, even though Mena actually ends up taking it, for Jimmy, that seemed like a nice battle back. If you think about the round before that, he got perfected.
Yes.
It's a 35-second perfect. It wasn't like a blow-up instant perfect. It was like, I have dominance, control by Mena of perfect. And then the round after that, third round, started out basically the same.
Yeah. With
Mena having total control. So the fact that Jimmy was able to actually battle after that, you know, speaks to maybe resilience in a way that's going to be important in this first degree.
We are in the promised land, and Mena, my goodness, he is cooking up something in this first game. He has been so clean with the whip punishes at every turn. Yeah, we've seen a lot of sand heavy kick. Oh my goodness, again, gets the crush counter just talking about that move.
Didn't pay too much on the way out, to be honest. I think Jimmy's okay with that as activation comes.
Yeah, it's a huge turnaround for Jimmy at the moment. V-trigger is active. When's he going to pick his spot? Oh, picked it at the most wrong moment. Mena cutting him off. Got a V-trigger active as of his own now. Yep, follow that up with a V-trigger. Oh, no. Just caught flinching from full screen.
Okay, well, NRT with quite a battle right there. Obviously never out of it.
Ridiculous again. Both of these players have been so clean on the ground so far. Jimmy DR trying to keep him cornered. Didn't get him cornered all the way, but still.
Ooh, man, Mena put his life on the line right there.
Yeah, that would have been the round 100%. Already bleeding heavily, would have been stunned up on one hit afterwards. But Mena, he's going to bring this back. He doesn't care about all that. That's in the past now. The reversal grab.
Saw the startup of it. Mena's here. And again, Jimmy prioritizing the escape, but Mena, just a constant threat. The character he's got is a huge throw, boy. Is that enough? It is! What a solution right there. That was like max range on the jump in. Knew he had charge. I love that.
That was so impressive from Jimmy, man. To pick your spot, to jump over the V-trigger like that in the right moment at the specific time that you really needed it. That is what is going to propel him in this top 8. Especially against Mena, who had been so effective on the ground. Oh, nice. He's been responding pretty consistently with the EXDP on those reset attempts. See if Jimmy baits it out here in the future.
As we were talking about earlier, these two have played each other so many times. There's a huge amount of knowledge between them.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Mena usually doesn't do that, right? Now maybe he's just busting that out in tournament. It definitely could be something that's catching Jimmy off guard. Installs up, and Jimmy ended up pressing buttons on that. Again, finds the opportunity, but Mena challenging once more. No overheads ever.
Potential activation on Jimmy's side. And he did want to hold on to it this time. Yeah, for somebody who had been V-reversaling very often to get out of situations, that did represent a great chance at the comeback. Of course,
Yeah.
that trigger, so he wanted to try to hold on to that. Mena knew it. He went in for the grab to deny that chance on anything like that. 2-0 just like that for Mena.
Yeah, because if you get an ideal V-trigger activation even from a target combo from Balrog in that situation, the subsequent combo is going to put him in like a strike throw for win scenario, right? So it's like I can definitely understand him holding on to the resources even though it was pretty dire in that situation.
And we're back into it.
Jimmy DR. Going to be looking for answers here, going to be digging deep. Because, man, bringing that Luke to the table, this man, oh, he's one of my favorite Luke players in the world just because of how fundamentally strong he is as a Street Fighter player. So you could really see him just exploit, honestly, Luke's tools to great success. Activate, and Jimmy did take to the sky, and you can see Mena already recognizing that, though, right? Didn't commit to anything, no target combo, no anything.
What a chase down all the way into the corner, almost into the corner. Mena still keeping his eyes open even at that range.
I never see that move used as an anti-air.
Right?
That was ridiculous.
You got to do that well in advance.
Oh, finally finds the legs this time. And able to throw take, keep himself alive here. Feeling comfortable in this corner, trying to find his way out.
He's weathered the storm. Trigger is now gone. He jumps out just the right time. However, Jimmy's still there.
Yeah, didn't have any V-trigger or anything on his side, so just takes the target combo, and now Mena, he has a bar, so that crouching medium kick is going to turn into a nice chunk of damage.
He's really trying to stay outside of dash punch range.
Oh, looked like at the last second tried to input an anti-air, but didn't get what he was looking for. So because of that, Jimmy, you're staying alive.
Yeah, Jimmy will take that.
Oh, yeah. Woo. Oh, all right then. That's one way to get the overhead in, just raw, no sequence beforehand. Crush counter, though. That towards Fierce is such a potent tool.
Here comes the activation from Mena. Jimmy's just out of there.
And Jimmy, right, he has, oh no!
That was specific pixel spacing just outside. Amazing positioning right there by Mena as he starts all this off into the corner. Guess for stun.
Oh man, Jimmy, he was looking like he had such a good start to this round, but yeah, just a Mena with the perfect spacing again, not close enough to get the DP, but a quick shimmy will put him on set point.
Yeah, he's looking great, no doubt about it. I do like that Jimmy is still going in some of these situations, even though there have been a lot of DPs on Mena's side. Jimmy knows what he needs to do. You know, he's got to find these hits. He's not giving up on any of those.
Most def. Oh man, these torch pierces from Mena have been so on point. Again, the slight hesitation right there, catching Jimmy pressing buttons. Oh my goodness, we are close to stun, and that's the perfect way to approach that situation. The throw, obviously you don't get the slowdown on the V-shift, now it's guess for game.
Hey!
Oh, and my man Jimmy got shimmied one too many times. 3-0 Mena RD in winners finals.
Even that combo choice from Mena right there was not a situation where he would kill, but he needed to get into a situation where a single throw would kill, because that is the most dangerous end game situation other than outright killing. So even there, you know, he's just very, very aware of what he needs at all times. His win conditions, the opponent's potential win conditions. He's always keeping his eye on that stuff.
Yeah, Mena is a consummate professional.
Yeah.
He is so good at Street Fighter V at this high level. He really dismantles his opponents cerebrally. Like, he's able to kind of pick apart what they want to do, where they want to be a lot of the time, and just use that against them. And that's a huge strength of a player at this level, right? Is kind of taking your opponents, what their comfort strategies are, and using them against them. That's what we saw with the rush punches, right? How many times did we see rush punch just barely miss, and then he gets a clean whiff punish on it? Like, he just knows that spacing, and he plays a lot of Balrog himself, right? So he's got that mind for it even more so than some of the other characters in the game that he will face.
I like what you said about his Luke, that he's just somebody who is so fundamentally sound that he can make all that stuff happen with the character. That is when Luke is the most dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, Luke is a very strong character, but in order to make him work at his maximum level, you have to be a really strong player yourself, and he is the kind of character that is most geared toward fundamentals. He's got some tricks here and there, but that's really not what the character is about. It's just about having excellent footsies, excellent hit confirms, being able to snowball and guess right in those situations. It's just the fundamentals of a fighting game, and Mena is fantastic at all that stuff.
Yeah, and especially because he just uses the plain Jane loadout, right? The V-Skill 1, the V-Trigger 1. Like, you can get a little bit more shenanigans with the other loadout, V-Skill 2 and the V-Trigger 2, with, like, the cancels and the little throw bait. But, yeah, he is all about relying on his fundamentals, how strong his ground game is, and that is why Mena, once again, picking the best character, I think, for him, honestly, right now. That is what he needs to do. So, business taken care of so far, winners finals appearance, but now we drop down to the other side of winners semifinals, which is going to be another good one, right? It's going to be Mono, and I believe it is a Brian D in response.
Exactly, yeah. So Mono has, as we've been talking about, done really, really well in the last half year. He took CEO 2021 in December, so not too long ago. And then since then, he's been just consistently making top 4s and top 8s at offline majors all over North America. So he's just been killing it. It's been awesome to see for him. And on Brian D's side, he's been, look, he got 13th at Central America East 1. He got 3rd at Central America East 2. And now he's, again, put himself in a position where 3rd or higher than that is absolutely obtainable. So awesome to see for him. He's really been on the come up. Got a bunch of different characters, but let's hear from Mono first before we get into this.
And Mono says, I've honestly been impressed with Brian D's growth as a player in the past year and a half. I look forward to playing him in today's top 8 and have us go at it with our best. So there you go, right? Mono just showing love to another player in the region. Obviously, all these players have been playing with each other a lot and growing in skill, and it's great to see Mono recognizing that when it comes to Brian D. And obviously, the results are showing. As you said, he went from 13th place to 5th place, right? And now here in top 8, he's guaranteed himself a 7th place finish. Obviously, wants to go farther than that. Mono has been a titan in this region, and it's going to be a good test for him. This is kind of what you need to be, or the spot you need to be in if you're a Brian D, right? If you're kind of on the rise, the up-and-coming type player, you can definitely make a name for yourself. But not only that, but get a big confidence boost and kind of something that you can kind of carry forward from tournament to tournament when you're in this spot. A winner semifinals match against Mono, not only one of the best in the region, but actually Mono that's peaking right now, like on a hot streak Mono. So this could be big for Brian.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it'll be interesting to see which character he goes with. On Mono's side, almost certainly it'll be Fang. For Brian, we've seen Luke from him in the past. We've seen Guile from him. He also told us that he could be playing Boxer or Rashid. I spoke with Mono this morning, and he said that he thinks that the best chance for Brian is Guile. And it is going to be Guile right here.
There you go. Yeah, I think we kind of talked about Mono up against Luke yesterday and how it doesn't really feel like that good for a lot of the Luke players. Like, you really got to be familiar with how Mono plays and kind of that matchup to make it happen. So I like Brian kind of going with this, right? It'll be able to engage less directly with Fong, kind of be able to put out some projectiles, manipulate him from a further distance away. That's something you need up against Mono, because if you kind of play in his range, play that Fong game, he's so good at it now that it's real tough to start getting offense.
Yeah, that was a great little series from Brian. Some different timings on his booms. It was good to see. Mono with trigger 2. Yeah, putting in a lot of plus frames here. Safety there.
Oh! So clean. Luring him into the false sense of security. You think you can throw a boom? No, sir. Oh, the cross-up caught him low, actually. Brian depleting some of that stun bar back-to-back with it. Oh, gets caught flinching, but enough for the kill. Oh, man.
That was wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was definitely some good stuff to see from Brian on that.
Yeah, Brian, he just got caught up in the Fong nonsense, really.
Yeah.
When he can keep it stable, he's definitely looking strong. But Mono's so good at kind of bringing you down into the poison.
Yeah, there is that weird range that's about here where Mono's trying to hang out. So Brian moves forward through it. He's got his offense now. Just like that, everything changes. Mono's now here. Mono has put in a lot of blocking after those neutral or -2 situations, just in case there's a flash kick out of Brian. Brian's been patient, though.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering. I wonder when Brian's going to break that out. It's like we in a game-deciding scenario here, but Mono tried to sneak his way in. Brian with a perfect check. A safe check as well, that crouch jab.
Ooh, Brian trying to move forward again. This is a semi-uncomfortable spot. Yeah, Brian trying to move in.
Catches them right before the EX sleeves were able to connect. Great timing from Brian right there. And yeah, see, he's able to stabilize a little bit as long as he doesn't get caught up in the mixes and the kind of the tempo that Mono wants to control.
There it is. This is what Mono's been working about. Oh, God.
Always going from side to side. Getting him every single which way, the plus frames again. And he's like, all right, you're not going to flash kick again. Confident in a couple of walk-up throws now after that. But Brian D not letting him walk up too much.
There's Brian. Activation comes. Mono's got his ready whenever he gets a chance. I don't know if he will. He's not gonna. Brian takes game number 1.
So good for Mono not biting on that first upside down kick. That move gives you so much time to kind of react and end up getting counter hit. But he did get caught trying to walk back afterwards, right? Great draw from Brian D, just checking the low, not letting him go anywhere.
I thought Brian did a really good job at staying outside of, again, that like 1/3 screen range where oftentimes, honestly, Guile likes to be.
Yes.
But he's got a lot of control typically, but Fang has ways under booms at the range, under buttons at that range, and it's just kind of weird. It's uncomfortable to deal with. So Brian did a great job at moving in and getting closer where he has a little bit more control.
Yeah, that's honestly a lot to ask sometimes when you're really used to a character. Like, being outside of your comfort zone and kind of going against your own game plan when you know that usually serves you so well. But in this matchup, he definitely is served better outside and inside that range. And a great activation off that. That wasn't a real combo, but Mono got caught trying to press buttons after.
Stealing some turns in here. Yeah, stealing some big turns in here. Brian patient, though.
Yeah. Honestly surprised. Oh, he walked up and got the perfect counter hit. Mono brings it back. I'm honestly surprised Brian kept the reversal holster the whole time, but I think he was honestly surprised Mono kept being aggressive, right? He was like, bro, I got V-Trigger 2, I got EX, like, obviously I'm going to let loose, but no, Mono stayed aggressive.
What? Wow, he pressed a button there. What a genius.
Take the sweep trade, but now we're slugging it out. This is how Mono won that first round in the first game.
Oh yeah,
that
Mono's,
exact type of pace.
He is happy to slug it out sometimes, as you can see right now.
Yeah, looking good. That poison building up as well. Put him a strike throw away. Oh, or an overhand right in the flat top. Get smoked.
Much more of the kind of round that Mono likes. That round and a half, I would say, was much more what Mono likes. Yeah, he'll control space. You know, again, yesterday we saw that versus Luke. We saw him really controlling space well. But what he's also great at is pressuring in, and not just with like Fang shenanigans, but just like great strike throw timings and delaying things and using Fang's very, very common plus frame buttons and his big stolen turn right there on after crouching strong into counter crouch. It's probably like a 10-frame gap or something. Like that's got to be maybe more than that. But he is getting away with that stuff all the time, and that's what he loves to do, and he's great at it.
Yeah, and you know, I think the experience on Fang really shows out because you can never really just go with the same game plan for every character with Fang, right? He's never really been that strong of a character to have a default game plan that you can run on most of the cast. And because of that, Mono is so used to switching his style, switching his ranges, depending on the matchup. So finding himself very comfortable right now, pulling the sleeves back and trying to get this work done. But Brian keeping him out.
Mono just waiting it out, hoping to see the EX. Okay, now that it's happened, if he can find space, he can get things going.
Oh, a little bit too much block on the first one, but he ran it right back.
Lovely D by Brian. He's out of there. What a block, and it's punished. Hold on. Wow. Okay, a little bit of an overextension from Brian D ends up costing him the round.
Man, yeah, it is a classic attempt at ending a round in this game, right? The overheads, they're fast. But unfortunately, Mono was ready, reacted to it, and he got the clean punish too. He's just so aware.
Again, making great use of that plus frame crouching. He did kick, he took a step back before the roundhouse. Oh, Brian in trouble.
Quick little in and out right there. Actually did get clipped out of the cower crouch.
Hey, beautiful. Is that stun?
Huge for Brian D right now. Oh no, didn't get the jumping combo. We're back to the mid-screen. Mono escaping now. He's got V-Trigger 2 on deck as well. My goodness, is that actually come back to haunt him a little bit? It just might.
It absolutely could. Still an EX on his side. Okay, it's spent. Just like that, Mono can start the games.
Okay, he does get the jump out now, so
nice.
Brian D finds himself in the spot he should have been in with that jump combo, right? It wasn't going to kill, but it would have put Mono in the corner, so that's where he wanted to be. Now Brian back to it. Oh, but as you can see, once you get into that range, Mono is so good at calling out pressure. Now plus frames all day, every day. Brian's got to deal with this flash kick, though, in response to the poison cloud.
He's trying to move forward. Again, that uncomfortable spot is where he's been stuck for quite a while.
So juggle, I like that. And the cross-up just gets you blocking the other way for a second, so it opens up the space for a throw. Back fist closing down the EX.
If he can find the right hit.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere.
Brian challenges.
Oh my goodness, Mono.
Looking for the taking from on crouching medium kick. He just tries it and it works.
I like it a whole lot. Mono was definitely being aggressive at the end right there. And Brian D betting on the flash kick. Regular version, no EX necessary. And all he needed was to go through that poison cloud, right? So well done, well identified from Brian. And yeah, I mean, Mono said at the top of the game, right? Brian, an excellent player. And as you mentioned, best shot is with the guile. And definitely seems to be the right intel. Brian is going to once again. Oh, wow, the sweep after back fist. That is definitely a player-specific answer right there. Like, he knows what Mono likes to look for after blocking the back fist. Nice job.
That's what Mono wants. Yeah, he's exactly where he wants.
We at the corner now. Got him with the counter hit. Ooh, yeah. Brian went from pressing buttons all the way up to pressing that invincible reversal. Oh, no meter right now. Mono he can bully with the plus frames. What a backdash though from Brian. That was a big answer. That kind of gave him that scrambly moment where he can jump out of the corner and now turn it around.
That's exactly what he's got now. Mono. Yes, confirm comes. He can really set up some tricky stuff.
Ooh,
Okay, great D by Brian. He just does it again. It's not enough.
The ankle braces. Wow, the fadeaway Soba Black Mamba style right there. Catching and pressing buttons.
Match point now for Brian D to get into winners finals versus Mena RD.
Yes, wow. You know, seeing how excellent Mono has really been playing lately, especially offline. It was wild to see Brian D take it to him like this. Catching him flinching left and right now.
He needs maybe one more hit before he cashes out on super. He is, in fact, it's going to be a one grab or hit situation.
Yes, indeed. Does make it out. He bet on the EX reversal. He bet big, trying to make sure that Brian D's cornered up for this comeback. But no, sir. Tired of those turns being stolen, right? We saw that time and time again. The crouch medium punch into the cower crouch stance. And you can see even on hit, there is quite the gap. Brian betting on the bazooka knee so well.
Shout outs to Brian. I thought he played that so well, especially, you know, seeing how things changed even within that set. Think back to the first game when Mono was putting in a lot of blocking just in case, like seemingly worried about things like flash kick. And then it ended up being that wasn't the call for Brian in game one. But as things went on, Brian did bring that back as Mono was more accustomed to not putting in the blocking just in case. So even that change I thought was fantastic. And Brian, you know, moving into the right ranges, that's a great sign right there as he steps in with the bazooka knee, that kind of stuff, getting past where Fang has a little bit of control, more into his own pressure was huge for him.
You know, and I'm so used to seeing, or at least talking about, when players are willing to EX reversal early on in sets, right? And kind of putting that thought in the opponent's head where you're always going to have to think about it. But Brian D did a great job recognizing that Mono was already concerned about that at the very start, right? So he actually kind of flipped the script on that a little bit and just played into that hand. We didn't see an EX reversal for a couple of rounds, and then he was really unpredictable with how he followed up with it from there. So yeah, Brian, great recognition overall, not only with Mono's player habits, but in the matchup. As we talked about, Guile definitely seemed like it was going to give him a better chance than the Luke, just given how much Mono has been doing well against the Lukes in this region. So Brian, very, very strong here, finds himself in winners finals, and yeah, goes from what, 13th place to 5th place now to at least guaranteed 3rd here at the CA East CPT.
There you go. That's what their current bracket looks like. Mena RD and Brian D. We'll wait for a while. I'm not going to be going there yet, of course. Strange Hail, Tenryu, Crossover, and Ajax Fidelity is what to look forward to in the matches here. But I know you're looking forward to something else, Fringe. I know you're looking forward to something else coming soon.
Oh, yes.
Soon is when you can expect the Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel, which is available for download in China, to be coming to the rest of the world. You can fight along with Ryu, Chun-Li, and Ken soon against the Suzaku Castle. Further into the Shadowloo City, explore the mysterious organization, experience the classic stories with all your fighters and recall your memories of the original Street Fighter. Your Street Fighter legend is now back on track. Or soon, depending on where you are. Various fighting style and counter, stun, combo, super, all sorts of stuff. Impressive array of fighting elements, all sorts of combos. The Epic Legend is / will be soon reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now / soon, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter.
Indeed, because we already know players are battling it out in the World Warrior regional events that are going down right now for 26 different regions. That means 26 different regional champions here for Street Fighter V. These events happen monthly, so head on over to CapcomProTour.com for more information on how to register. And a big shout out to all of our lovely TOs and production collaborators coming to you for these World Warrior events, definitely holding it down alongside Capcom. And thank you all as well for tuning in so far to this top 8 here at Central America East. We're going to get down to the losers bracket when we come back. Do not go anywhere.
Welcome back to the Caribbean here for the CPT, as we have the chance for one of these 8 to qualify for Capcom Cup. We have seen on winner's side what happened, and now we're going to hop down to the loser's side of things. I'm Ultra David. I'm here with Ringe.
Yes, sir. It's been a fantastic top 8 already so far, with Mena RD cruising his way into the winners finals, but Mono running into an obstacle right there in the form of Brian D, doing a great job continuing his rise, continuing his improved success here with now a guaranteed top 3 finish today. But you know he wants that Capcom Cup spot. But right now we are bouncing down to the losers bracket side of things to bring you some more action, some action with no safety nets, no second chances, all violence and bloodshed here. Strange Hail 8 going up against Tenru to start it off, and then Crossover versus Ajax Fidelity to follow that up. 4 more heavy hitters in the region.
What season is this? What are we looking at here? Is this a Ryu versus Nash? Is this a Ryu? But what am I looking at? What year is it?
Old school right now. It's looking like 2017 again.
This is awesome. Yeah, they both are so strong with their characters, too. If you guys had a chance to see Strange Hell as he qualified yesterday, getting through zero stress, a very, very strong player in just absolutely dominant fashion.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see.
Zero stress is so good. And like Strange Hail, I couldn't believe the way they played up against them, just so efficient. However, we have a quote from his opponent right now in Tenryu. Let's see what they have to say. Strange Hail is definitely a strong player, and I'm really looking forward to our match. Shout outs to all the people who supported me. Hashtag Team TBK, hashtag Kiko in the building. So yeah, obviously Tenryu knows that Strange Hail is one of the strongest players of the region, right? A lot of these players, that's something we've seen as a theme throughout the quotes for top 16 and top 8, is the recognition that each player has for the other and their skill level as competitors.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, there's a lot of strength here. And as we said earlier, there are lots of characters that you just don't see very commonly. Nope. It's not like we haven't seen Nash. Actually, Nash has popped in a couple of the CPTs so far. But, you know, Fang at this level, Nash at this level, Ryu at this level is just not a common thing to find. And yet this region, as we've seen, has all of those, as well as many other characters, too. In this specific match, Ryu versus Nash, again, as I was saying yesterday, I just really like Ryu this season. I understand that if you want to play Shoto style, there are a couple of better options. I get it. I understand. But if you want to play Ryu, you can absolutely do it. He has very, very strong snowballing, I think, in particular this season. He's got pretty good fireball games. He's got pretty good buttons. But when he hits you, he's going to be right next to you. In many, many cases after that. The character's really strong at that this season. And he does a ton of damage, so he's very scary. Whereas, look, Nash has a lot of great offense this season, too. He has his own strong fireball game. He's got his own ways to anti-fireball versus characters like Ryu, get over them or just absorb them. Going to be a really interesting match between these two. Again, first degree.
Yeah, just not something we've seen in quite some time. And so we're going to bring the V-Trigger 2 to the table. And we saw yesterday, Strange Hail was always ready with that parry. Any type of thing you try to autopilot into that Ryu can exploit, he was ready to do so. So we'll see how Tenryu responds and stuff like that. Maybe trying to hold back on some of the side kicks and whatnot that he would otherwise kind of just go into automatically.
Great little confirm there. Interesting right off the bat.
Yeah, we getting frisky, we getting froggy. I like the Strange Hail, gonna toss him back into the corner as well. Checks the legs with the sweep. Just looks at him and throws him. Got him bird watching now. 1-0 like that.
Yeah, it can all go downhill pretty quickly versus Ryu. But Tenryu at the start of this thing, this range right here, where it's difficult for Ryu to actively parry, where it's difficult for Ryu's buttons to really contend, that's a great spot for Tenryu to hang out at.
And Tenryu off to a better start this time. Oh no, try to reach in, absorb something instead of just finding damage. Yeah, Straight Shell so active as a Ryu player as well. You see, that's a hallmark of a lot of Ryu players, I feel like. They don't really stand still a lot. Like, they're constantly moving back and forth. They're trying to manipulate your ground game. Willing to throw that fireball, especially with the speed of it now, the potency of the crouch medium kick.
Well, Tenryu eventually got out of that situation. Activation comes. There is a super to think about at least. No, Strange Hell is making it happen. Oh, his own super? Just like that. Game 1 to Strange Hell 8.
And I was going to start going on monologuing about the speed of the fireballs and V-trigger, but we didn't even get to see that. Just got smoked by the first crouch medium kick and an easy activate all the way through with the super. So well done from Strange Hell again, picking up right where he left off. Like, this player looked like a monster yesterday, kind of blowing through the losers bracket over up against Isaac and a crossover as well, or excuse me, Zero Stress. So Strange Hell definitely looking like a likely candidate to make it very far in this losers bracket, and already sent Tenryu back to at least the lobby.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder what it could be from Tenryu to change. I feel like the V skill is the right choice. I feel like maybe he might want V-Trigger 1 just to get past some of what Ryu's been doing, but V-Trigger 2 is really good. I don't know if he needs to change away from that.
Yeah, exactly right. I feel like the problems kind of stem from before we get to that point.
Right, okay,
You know what I mean? Like, the V-Trigger 2, the V-Trigger 1, like, I don't think switching to that V-Trigger 1 and maybe getting an escape from the corner with it one time is really going to solve your issues. Like, I think at this point, he's more... I think that the route to success is actually sticking with that V-Trigger 2 just to try to make these neutral changes and kind of put the onus on that so that when you do get some success, you can kind of snowball it better with the V-Trigger 2. But we're going to see if that's the case. We'll see. Yeah, he is sticking with the loadout, right? So he just wants to stage change a little bit, reset the momentum, try to kind of get his composure back because Strange Hell, he seems to really thrive off momentum.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I absolutely agree with that, having seen yesterday and today. Okay, that's great. Maybe Tenryu wants to play more up close himself. Seems like it so far. Yeah, dashing in a couple times. Side kick as well. A couple of the signs that that's the choice.
I think that's an interesting strat to take. Some of the time you need to do that up against aggressive players because, they're used to kind of chasing you down and they're just in their comfort zone when they do that. But right now, Strange Hell getting everything he wants. Gets the jump in as well. Tenryu just didn't have the right anti-air answer. Oh, all right. Throw for some extra meter at the end.
That's a confident Strange Hell right there, thinking that he was going to seal it without spending EX. There's the punish on his side, and it just feels like Tenryu can't get things going consistently. There we go.
All right, big whiff punish. That was a good start, but against Strange Hell, he really wants to keep his momentum on his side. Oh, okay. Big Soulbond catching that hurt box. But yeah, the jump-ins have not been the way.
Activation already into this stage of the game is Tenryu's in trouble.
Okay. He's got the V-Trigger 2. Yeah, sliding on in, trying to catch him off guard. Strange Hell win. Just take the throw. Ooh, gets the cross up fireball with the V-Trigger dash.
Wow, what text? Okay. Strange Hell defense is on point.
Yeah, Tenryu. Trying to abuse that throw. Catches the Soul Bot. Leaves him on just a pixel. He didn't have the meter to go through anything heavier than that.
Anything will do it. Maybe on both sides, to be honest. Tenryu has super. Can't throw an errant fireball right now. Strange Hell's side.
Oh, Soulbot now chip is a threat. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately for Strange Hell, just didn't have anything to his name to escape that situation. And great recognition from Tenryu right there. Not being greedy about it. As soon as he got that one strike in, he set up for the chip kill.
Great spacing for Tenryu. Just on the edge of that thing. Strange Hell did what he could have done before and carried.
Oh, man. Trying to break his ankles right there. Not reaching, though. Strange Hell staying out of foul trouble.
Beautiful. A couple of times we've seen Tenryu with these whiff punishes. Here he is, up close, pressuring. And Nash can do great here. He's got EX. He can really vary the timing. No, Strange Hell's out, as he has been in 3 of those situations.
Great challenge from Strange Hell, really put his opponents on the table and showing what type of decision-making player he is. In the face of a mix, I will DP. And now with another life lead. Oh, but the soap from long distance, the follow-up on the V-trigger confirmed, though. Oh,
what a jump! Okay, at least safety there for Tenryu.
Yeah, great recognition. Using a V-trigger follow-up to escape. That would have been certain death. Would have been a 2-0 lead otherwise. Oh, parries. So intimidating in the face of that. Oh, regular DP after the overhead connects. Strange Hail was like, look, bro, I don't know what you're going to do afterwards, but I bet it won't beat this DP. That's really all it was going to come down to right there.
Like, it's nobody's turn frame-wise after Nash hits that, but it's still really weird to see a DP.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, I love it. All right, well, Strange Hail, with the strength of that choice, is up 2-0.
Yeah, a lot of the time, the opponent, I mean, their lights might be too short from that range, and then their mediums might be too slow, right? So, Strange Hail, I mean, it was a good bet in hindsight at the very least, right?
I think every DP is connected so far that Strange Hail's tried.
That's also a fair point right there. When you've been informed by only successful DPs, you're going to be pretty confident in your spots. All right, V-trigger activation here. Strange Hail again trying to ride this momentum. He's been so good at doing that. Tenryu looking to shut that down. As him back in that mid-range where he wants to abuse those soul bots. We've seen that time and time again. Ooh, catches them flinching on that crouch fist as well. Nice damage follow-up.
He can just end it if he wants to chip kill.
Yeah, I think at this point he's going to try to squeak it out, honestly. Keep that meter for the next round. But, yeah, you give it Strange Hail more and more chances. It's going to get scary, bro.
It is a 2-hit game right now. Yeah, I think that was going to be super.
Yeah. And that's a huge dub for Tenryu, actually. Like, putting that chip kill scenario on deck and actually just hitting with the Moonside. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, think about this start right here. That started with EX. He's got the corner because of it.
Yeah, otherwise wouldn't have had that option if he ended up going with that chip kill. Ooh, Strange Hail starting to bring out the empty jumps now, voicing those anti-airs. EX caught him flinch at the last moment. Nice job checking on some damage.
Right back into a bad spot. Tenryu walks. Oh, boy.
Got electrocuted. Oh, stop flinching. Oh, you keep flinching. I might keep making you pay for it. However, maybe not. Tenryu continue to press buttons in the face of stun. Oh, no.
What? Did he think he'd be on the other side, maybe?
I have to imagine.
It's supposed to be EX Moon, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Like taking to the sky, getting a throw bait. Oh, but no, don't take to the sky when he's available to DP. Strange Hail has been so on point with his anti-airs. And now 1 round away from moving on.
Yeah, it really could have gone better and differently for Tenryu.
Again, no safety nets here. This is the loser's bracket. You lose here, you are done for Central America East. Oh, what a whip punish right there. He's been successful on a couple of those shoulder flex attempts.
Yeah, he's got the full-on corner. Got a lot of EX meter to spend.
Oh, I think he's going to cash out another bar right there, tack on some damage. The meaty boom. Strange Hail trying to pick his spot. You know, he wants the activation himself, does so off the EX. Gets some breathing room out of that corner, just takes the throw for right now. Tenryu knows he's got a big life lead. He can afford some of these, but he does get caught trying to walk back there.
Lovely challenge. It's so important to see. However, Strange Hail's there again. Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a hit?
Oh,
Come on, buddy.
The V reversal and brought the stun down a little bit more. It does again. Strange Hail had so many stun opportunities and able to close out this round. Still doesn't. The trade on the DP finally gets the last shimmy he needed. My goodness. 3-0 off that. But, man, how many shimmies did he get to end that round?
You know what's incredible about Strange Hail is that at the same time that he has had some rounds in this top 16 and top 8 where he's just totally in control, like that seems like, yeah, sure, he'll play that style. He also seems like the kind of player that loves those scrambles, those funky, weird situations where just zany things are happening. He really seems strong in those, and that last round was a great example of that.
You don't be doing regular DP on 0-frame situations unless you like scrambles. You know what I mean? Like, there's players that are not trying to play in the mud like that, and a lot of times when they're faced with 0-frame scenarios, the wildest they'll get is an EX reversal, some type of invincible, move, right? My man Strange Hell was like, I don't need bar. I don't need this DP to be yellow. You give me a 0-frame scenario, not point blank like that, I'm DPing out. We saw the DP trade right there at the end too, right? It's also a favorable situation for him if he gets that trade as long as he lives. So I love the way Strange Hell is betting. His risk reward management is super cool to watch. And again, just getting to see Ryu show out. It's been so long since we've seen this character in this level of play. So I love seeing it. He'll be advancing to losers quarterfinals, going up against Mono. That's going to be another barn burner. I really want to see how Mono kind of tries to tame up Strange Hell's Ryu style. But of course, next up is going to be Ajax Fidelity versus Crossover.
That's where we're headed now. Yeah, exactly right.
100%.
As far as Ajax goes, let's talk a little bit about this guy. So he was sent down to loser side by Jimmy.
Yes.
Who obviously just got sent down by Mena RD as well.
Shumied.
But he also took out Kaba on the way. He took out Lilo as well.
Yeah.
And in their recent World Warrior tournament in this region, which, as we were talking about earlier, is being run by Blink, so Mena part of that TO crew, not able to enter. But in that, Ajax Fidelity won it in the first one. So it was Ajax first place. Other people in that top 16 were Louis Man, Brian D, Lilo, G-Roy, Hermes, Kaba, Zero Stress, like Tenryu, a whole bunch of players who were in this top 16. And he's the player who ended up number 1 overall.
Yeah.
And, in talking with Mono, he was telling me how impressed he's been lately by Ajax Fidelity. And how, although Ajax has been a strong player for a long time, he feels like recently is when he's really noticed that Ajax has stepped it up big time and found, whatever the extra little bit is that has kind of unlocked that next step. In his view, Ajax is there. And I think we could see that in his play.
Absolutely. I think until about probably as recently as 2021, I would consider Ajax what we like to call in the community a gatekeeper. A lot of the time he was on that skill level to just kind of keep players that were not at that top level outside the top 8. Now himself, I believe, is capable, obviously, of taking down these players and showing out in that top 3 himself. So let's get to the quotes from our player right now to see their thought going into this match. Crossover, excuse me, it's Ajax. Crossover is very strong, but 1, 2, 3. He knows where his bread is buttered, and that is on that flicker jab, baby.
There you go. Yeah, we've been talking about that. Every time there's an Ed on any of these CPTs, whoever's commentating, me, you, anybody else, that is such an important change for this character. The ability to go from flicker into on reaction, hit confirm, EX for the knockdown. It pushes the opponent towards the corner. You don't get instant Oki, but you do get a lot of damage. You do get towards the corner.
Yep.
The character already has good stuff other than that. So the ability to turn Flicker, just a very strong harassment tool, already was a good harassment tool, into instantly getting the knockdown and into forward movement into more of a corner press. Just really, really good. Really good option.
The sentiment that I wanted to echo was the fact that Flicker was already good. Right? We already knew it was an annoying tool to deal with in the neutral. The Eds were already good at utilizing it. But it was the fact that it didn't lead to that much, right? It was just like, okay, I got a little bit of frame advantage. I'm not that close. It's not like strike throw range or anything like that, right? It was just something that you could harass the opponent with that they had to worry about. But you had to hit them like 45 times with it to do anything. Now you hit it once and it's EX. And if you're in the right position, they're in the corner and you're playing the Ed game. Yeah. So yeah, it is great to see these players kind of take that buff and really show out with it like the way they have been.
Yeah, I don't want to get into this without having talked about Crossover, who took down both Tenryu and G-Roy. He's a really strong player himself. He is somebody who was always going towards the top of the character charts, and he'll tell you that. And I love that. He's got the kind of style, as we were saying earlier, that makes Luke work so well. It's just great fundamentals, and we've seen that for him, whether it's this character or Akuma or Nakali or Seth or whatever character he goes with. He always gives himself these tools, and he's great with them.
Exactly, right? He likes these characters pretty quick on the ground, have good normal range, have a solid anti-air. Like, he's just trying to pick a character with a good kit for Street Fighter, and he's done that time and time again. Now, with the latest edition, we've talked about if you're looking to play a Shoto-esque character, there's no better answer than Luke, so that's what he's showing out right now. But again, Ajax Fidelity playing the Ed, this is the exact type of character that I think can give him some problems on the ground. And if you want to jump in carelessly, he's got an easy input anti-air.
This is that corner Ed stuff we were talking about. Yeah, he gets the link.
Yeah, bud. And look at that.
Off. He did? Oh, that was just Ajax not believing there would be a jump.
Exactly. He was like, no way he's going to jump at this point. And crossover, it felt like he jumped like a frame later. Oh, no. And he bets big on the up kicks, not even the EX version. I'm not sure what that was about, what he was trying to snipe out. Either way, he pays dearly for it because that is a counter hit recovery.
Unfortunate there for Ajax. He's got to try to get back to that same spot. What a positioning right there. Awesome whip punish by crossover.
No knee for you. Usually that's reserved for the corner on the follow-up, but great reaction from Ajax. Ooh, yeah, great stuff. He waited for a second right there, and then Ajax, recognizing that crossover, was trying to get aggressive. Now he's catching him, reaching.
And again, we have Ajax in the corner. Let's crossover again, making the choice that Ajax just did not expect.
Yeah, that was the round, because he would have been stunned and he would have died for it. So crossover, betting big, gonna get another chance at taking this dub.
Ajax backdashing, maybe threatening with V-trigger activation.
Oh, he had the bar that time, but he built it with the flicker, so maybe not recognizing it. Maybe just trying to hold on to it for the next round.
Gotta respect, and he does.
Yeah, you see, he showed him the first one, and crossover reacted to the whip, trying to attack it, and ended up running into the second and third hits of the flicker, then running into the stand medium kick. One of Ed's best round closing tools right there. So there you go, 1-up here in this first game. No crossover. Yeah, backing up a little bit, trying to make Ajax come to him, right? He's such a potent projectile game. We haven't really seen the V-Skill 2 come out from Ed yet. Ajax not really trying to fish for it through the projectiles. Nice EX in response to the flash knuckle, though.
He's making crossover think about some things that Luke players are just accustomed to doing. That right there, the roundhouse after the throw. Here he goes for the stun on the move we're talking about right there on the EX.
So good. I love Ajax holding out for that follow-up, but it was going to be a stun and then beats the wake-up buttons as well. Crossover had busted out in the previous round in a similar scenario with the EX, right? So I think he betted on Ajax, betting the fact that he would do that again. So he just tried to wake up with a normal button, but no, Ajax with the meaties taking the first game.
There were a couple of moments, that you're right to point out, where crossover did things that Ajax didn't expect. The jump, the DPs. Other than that, there was a lot of control on Ajax's side. And when, crossover wasn't making kind of off-the-wall choices in that way, it seemed hard for him to really get going and get what he wants to do happening.
Yeah, like that jump out in the corner on that V-trigger, like that was legitimately, like if he did it a frame earlier, he would have got anti-air. Like he did it at the perfect timing to throw off Ajax.
Yeah.
Nice again, man. The flicker is so potent. You heard Ajax talk about it. Crossover mad good, but he got to deal with this 1, 2, 3. Look at it. The forward advancing move. It's so good.
Hey, huge jump. Well, didn't get a combo out of it.
Oh, no. I have to imagine that was the input error on the overhead. And then Ajax has found himself in that comfort zone yet again. Pushing crossover to this corner. Great job right there, waiting till the end. And also with punishing with the crouch medium kick. That's going to be less likely to run into the flicker. Well, attrition, Luke style right now. Just
a little bit here and there.
Sand blasting.
A couple of good jumps as well, where the up kick isn't really going to work. The crossover's been scouting that well. That said, he's down in life. Ah, okay, so taking that opportunity. This time he's looking for it.
Good stuff from
And
Ajax.
the combo! Yo, let's go! The forbidden bounce! That's what I'm talking about.
Ridiculous from Ajax right there. Oh my god, that was sick. Yeah, great adjustment, right? Crossover is really trying to wait till this last moment to jump over the V-triggers. Right when Eds are going to commit to the forward dash, and Ajax just held back. So good. Oh, yeah, converted again here. Gonna put him on the verge of stun. Oh, strike throw. Oh, the trade is all he needed. Now he's bird watching. He's gonna be having to keep an eye on his health bar as well here. He's a strike throw away from death. Back throw does it. 2-0 for Ajax Fidelity. What a way to come roaring into the second game.
See the utility of that flicker and how it's kind of outside of what Luke's ranges are, outside of that range even more, that's where we've seen Sandblaster really play a big part, which makes sense. But inside of that range where Luke's actual damage mostly comes from, finding things like crouching medium kick into hit confirm, etc., that hasn't really been available to him all that often because that's been the range that's been controlled by Flicker and where, things like anti-air kick are really strong, and that has just been where Ed has hung out. And it seemed really difficult for Crossover to get past that barrier.
Yeah, right. You usually would like to use the Sandblaster a little bit outside that range, and then once you're inside that range, the crouch medium kick, the forward fierce, the stand medium push, all those buttons are sick right there.
Right.
But up against Flicker, it's actually mad annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, because as soon as you get into that range, Ed is just like 1, 2, 3, and you're like, word, I have to deal with this, and it's so fast, and it really counteracts as soon as Luke gets into that range where he wants to press those buttons. That's when Ajax is doing it because that's the perfect spot to kind of take up the space in. So Ajax has just been playing this textbook super well, and you could tell, Crossover is back in the lobby. He's definitely at least contemplating a character select, I imagine.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's probably thinking about things like Nikali, maybe characters he used in years past as well. Because, yeah, it's although, it's been Ajax who's been piloting this character, Ed. Nevertheless, that character matchup, as we're talking about, might not be that easy, as good as Luke is. So will he have made a switch? It is Nikali who's coming out with V-Skill 1 and Trigger 2.
So Nikali in the building a little bit. And yeah, I think there's some merits to this pick. You obviously, the ground pound, so you have a little bit of the projectile game, but he's just so fast on the ground. Much more difficult to get a comfortable range feel for. A lot of the time, yeah, Nikali can be in and out a lot better than other characters in the roster.
Sure. Although maybe still similar problem as we were talking about that Luke might have, where his buttons are not actually that rangy, and so things like Flicker are still going to be a threat from outside of his own buttons.
Yeah, exactly. That's really the only problem I see with Nikali is that the range game isn't better than Luke, right? So it's really going to be up to him kind of throwing off Ajax's rhythm. Oh, look at that, the ground pound hit during the startup. Again, that range is just so dominated by Flicker. You can see even the Fierce coming out now after on block. And that's another thing is that Flicker a lot of the time relieves him outside of range to challenge with your light buttons. We saw that crouch jab, it just whiffed. The guy hit by the stand Fierce after.
Ooh, a little bit too far for Stomp. Not too far for EX right there. Here's Crossover.
And you're going to need big bets like that. Confident defensive choices. That's what we saw from Crossover right there. The wake-up crouch medium kick to catch the walk back. And of course, the V-Trigger 2, that is the infinite V-Trigger for Nikali. Oh, get off me. Takes the first hit and then gets the throw successfully. Oh! Shout-outs to Buffs, baby. Ajax Fidelity converting with that bar follow-up. And now a set away. Excuse me, a round away.
Right back into this range where he can really take control. Look, that was a perfect example outside of crouching medium kick range.
Like, come on, fam.
This is plus, though. It's just out of there. See ya.
Yeah, but then Ajax is back dashing around. Crossover does get a dash button in. That's part of the Nikali game plan, I imagine, for him switching to this character. There's a big neutral jump as well. That's something else you can bring out. Leave some damage on the table, but his turn is continuing regardless.
No V reversal yet. He's got a block, absolutely. This is still coming. Okay, finally.
Bro, there's so many hits to that V-Trigger now. Oh, yes. Spin that one bar here. We got the corner situation. More plus frames. Crossover doesn't want to deal with that back-to-back. Surrendering a V-Trigger for this round. Rather get this V-reversal. But my goodness, he's still in this corner. Still having to deal with Ed.
Crossover trying to just wait it out. Yeah, he has spent a lot of bar on that. The red bars are all gone. He still has to deal with, look at the backdash for Ajax to put himself in the right spot.
The peak, that was so good from Ajax, not going with the follow-up. I think he was too high, so it would have whiffed on the come down. Oh, EX, he busts out right here, and the throw to finish him off. Ajax Fidelity going to be moving on in loser's bracket.
Just played it so well, whether it was Luke or Nikali on the other side. He was outside of what his opponent wanted to do for most of that time. Threatening, constantly harassing. He put himself at good anti-air ranges. He, even as we saw in that last round, when he had full-on up-close corner, he backed off sometimes to put himself where Flicker was such an annoyance, and again, where he could anti-air as well. So that choice to consistently find the right spot on screen was huge and a big part of why he's moving on. 3-0 versus somebody as strong as Crossover is an amazing result.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous play being shown from Ajax Fidelity. And I just love the way the players nowadays have been kind of making decisions in terms of what you just said, where I'll back off in the corner and be at my optimal range. I'm not showing my thirst for the stun, right? I don't really want to get this mix going. I don't care about building up the stun. I'd rather just put myself in optimal range and really stack on that mental game against the opponent, right? You're at that range where you don't know what to do. You start kind of panicking a little bit. Your mind is racing about what answer to try to come up with. I think that is just as damaging as like trying to get that stun, trying to kind of apply that pressure at point blank range. So I love the way Ajax Fidelity has been playing every matchup with the Ed, as you mentioned, whether it was the Luke or the Nakali, just 1, 2, 3 in the man to death. Well done.
You know, he lost, as we said earlier, to Jimmy. After that, he has taken out 4 opponents now, actually, and hasn't lost a single game in doing so. And those opponents include Crossover and they include Kaba and they include Lilo. Okay, so this is a great section of the scene to have to take down. That's a tough path, and he's done it without losing a game.
That is a very impressive feat so far, so I am looking forward to Ajax continuing his run here in the top 8, just like I'm continuing to look forward to Street Fighter Duel. You know what it is, everyone. The Capcom authorized the mobile game, now available for download in China, with the global version coming soon, TM. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter.
Soon, we're heading out to EVO.
Oh, yeah.
It's soon. It's very, very soon. You're heading out even sooner than I am, and I'm heading out Tuesday, man. We're both
after this.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. So it is a jam-packed week, actually, of fighting game action. As far as Street Fighter V, it starts when the actual event itself starts, Friday, goes through Sunday. Please check it out, evo.gg, to find more info. Keep in mind that whoever wins that Street Fighter V event will qualify for Capcom Cup. It's going to be a slog. That is always the hardest tournament of the year. I'm sure this year will be no different with the international crew that's coming, but whoever makes it through will qualify automatically. Good luck to everybody. By the way, also, we have more stuff coming after that. Australia will be the next CPT. That is the weekend after EVO, so 2 weekends from right now. After that's going to be Central America West. So if you're in either of those regions, Australia or Central America West, you can register now for Australia. For Central America West, that will be soon. Please keep an eye out. Head over to CapcomProTour.com for more information.
Most definitely, and we are going to be taking a quick break right here at twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters. Going to give you a chance to do so. We'll be right back with losers semifinals, or excuse me, losers quarterfinals, with more intense Street Fighter V action. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everyone, to the Capcom Pro Tour. You know what it is. This is Central America East Top 8, one of the best regions for Street Fighter V and fighting games in the world, and they have been proving it time and time again. A phenomenal round 1 of Top 8. We are through the winners and losers side of things. Let's take a look, as I am Ringe, this is Ultra David, and we have been calling the action non-stop, but it is not going to stop anytime soon because Losers Quarters is up next, and we got Strange Hail plotting on taking down Mono.
Yeah, for Mono and for Mena, I thought that these were the 2 favorites coming into this. We talked about that yesterday. Yeah. I think that was a pretty common take. But it was a convincing win, honestly, by Brian D over Mono, sending Mono down to loser side. So now Mono's got a long road, all of these players do, if they're going to make their way into grand finals. So I've seen them play before.
Okay.
I've seen them play in the league that was being run in Puerto Rico for a while, the Red Rooster events going on. And when I saw them play, it was close. It was really close matches. And Strange Hill, actually, at least one of them that I saw came out on top. So it's not, of course, they're going to know each other very well. They'll have played each other many, many times. I did look it up on FGCombo.com to see what the results are in significant tournament play. Mono's got the big advantage in that.
Okay.
He's got a 71 to 29% win rate in that. And they've played again quite a few times. That said, we've seen Strange Shell so far, right?
Yeah.
Like, he has just been absolutely killing it. He's looked so good both today and yesterday. And the way that he's playing, I just don't think you can count him out in this. I think this is going to be close.
Absolutely not. And it's one of those things, too, where since both of these players, as you said, from Puerto Rico, right? So this is our first Puerto Rican on Puerto Rican action here. Both these players have played each other a whole lot, and when it comes to that, when it comes to facing somebody that you play a lot in tournament, anything can happen, man. Even when it comes to some player having an overwhelming advantage, we've seen time and time again, especially when the tournament gets bigger and bigger and there's more stakes on the line, that's when these players that get haunted just somehow overcome their demons. And we could definitely see another instance of that today. However, Mono has been on one of the hottest streaks he's ever been on in Street Fighter V. Incredible play time and time again. Of course, did fall to Brian D, but he's going to be looking to respond to that. And I'm so interested, really, in how this plays out in-game, because I just want to see Mono's style and what he does up against Strange Hell's Ryu. Because, like, we just don't get to see this brand of Ryu ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm more accustomed to seeing Mono's Fong at this point than seeing Ryu at this level. So, like, that's where we've gotten to in Street Fighter. So I'm just so interested in seeing how this plays out.
You're totally right. Yeah. Yeah, you can see a top Fang in, like, the European CPTs and in, like, the NA CPTs.
Yeah, even
and, like,
for sure. More
totally. But Ryu is just almost nowhere. So this is cool. Yeah, definitely cool to see. And Strange Hell is looking super, super strong. Again, I think that Ryu's good. I really like Ryu this season. I think he presents a tough matchup for a bunch of characters. He can make it so that Fang can't easily do some of what Fang likes to do. He can Hurricane Kick over the cloud, for example, or he can shut that side of things down. He's got his parry, so some of the plus frame situations aren't going to be quite as effective. He's got a 3-framer as well, so things like, you know, +1 stand roundhouse from Fang aren't going to be quite as effective. That said, again, when I've seen them play, it has mostly been Mono taking it, but I have seen Strange Hell get the W. You know, we talked a little bit about the results recently for Mono. Let's just briefly. 3rd at Combo Breaker, 5th at Texas Showdown, 2nd at Winter Clash, 3rd at Frosty Faustings, and of course, he got 1st place at CEO 2021 at the end of December in 2021. So he's just had a great last 6 months.
Really, really incredible. Yeah,
I mean, that's all offline, too. That wasn't like online play. Like,
exactly. That is offline. Like, a lot of the time, players want to attribute the more shenanigan-based characters to having more success online, right? They're like, oh, if you got Fong, you can win online, you can beat me there. This man's doing it offline. He's like, it doesn't matter. You can have all the reactions in the world. Let Arturo set up your monitor. It doesn't matter. Like, you're still going to fall to the poison. And he's been doing it time and time again. So we're going to see him try to do this up against Strange Hell. Again, a matchup I really have no idea in how it's going to go. Obviously, Mono has those ways around his fireballs. But Strange Hell, we've seen him fish for that solar plexus hit a couple of times. He's already found it early here.
Seeing a really important set of tools here from Mono as well. Underneath fireballs, really big, important way that the character can play. Obviously, command dash under them too. There's his attempt.
Yeah, now Mono at such a life deficit, right? And V-Trigger 2 available. He's going to try to find some way in, try to get his offense going. Oh, that was very scary. Recovered in time. Not get clipped.
Strange Hell really cognizant of that sweep range. Wow, I've never seen that happen. The first hit of EX Fireball hit, not the second.
Yeah, right?
I've never
That's
seen
not
that.
how this works.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, plus frame was jumping straight out of it. It's Strange Hell. You can reach for this foot, my man. Give me a massage. Nice sweep on the punish.
You mentioned last time we saw Strange Hell that you feel like he never stops moving, and I think we're seeing that so far here as well.
Like, yeah, even for full screen, right? Wiggling in and out right there.
It's definitely a wiggler.
Activity from the Ryu player. But right now, you can't move an inch right here without paying for it. That's why he's just blocking it out. Nice EX. As soon as he got that space, great identification.
Right back in a plus frame pressure here from Mono. Hoping to chase a backdash. And why not? There was a backdash right there. That was an interesting call, but Strange Hell was not there.
Oh, no, the fireball got stuffed by the poison. Still, though, staying persistent with it, waking up with the low forward. Very confident in that button, as you should be with Ryu. Yeah, I was hoping that Mono was so worried about the ground or maybe commit to something on the ground that he would get that jump in, but no, sir.
So trigger's gone.
Ooh, trying to put the foot on him. Just needs that little bit of damage left. Yeah, there it is. The toe tap with the trade. That extended hurt box on the fireballs from the Shotos as well. Very smart. Mono now, that second round definitely win his way in terms of momentum, and Tatsu blocked and punished heavily. Ooh, get that ass back towards the corner, too.
Backdash. Strange Hell trying to reset the situation. Here he is. He's got the corner.
We saw Mono just escape with his life in a very similar situation previously. This time, Strange Hell did get the dub, and wow, the Tatsu able to avoid and gets the throw bait. Big damage off that. Oh, no, it did not connect.
No. Oh!
And not only did it not connect, Mono with the wherewithal to use the V reversal on the fireball to avoid that super entirely. Oh yeah, not flinching in the face of the charged engine. Oh, poison doesn't save him though. Nice job not reaching that time. EX there, he's respecting it. The plus frames as well, respects that. So even on this live, yeah, he didn't want to combat with that.
Stand like again will do it. Mono knows it.
Oh,
Hoping to get forward into that light kick range. And the EX is all gone. Wow!
Oh my!
Light kick!
Time. Oh my! He has no meter to challenge these plus frames.
God!
Ah, and he finally gets caught trying to take to the skies. Thought maybe Moto would take that moment to just walk back for a frame, get a jump out successfully, but great stuff from Mono, staying persistent with the pressure. That crouch strong has been paying dividends for him time and time again. I mean, that is one of the best harassment tools Fong has.
Yeah, when it's just seemed like it was going to be outside of range for things like crouching short and stand short, that's when crouching strong came out to play, and that's exactly when Strange Hill was trying to move.
Yeah, right. Like, there is definitely bets to be had when it comes to what the opponent thinks their opponent is going to press at certain ranges. And when you get those lights, when you get those short ranges, that's when they try to exploit it by getting an option that normally wouldn't work.
Setting it up. Strange Hill really trying to get out. Okay, yeah, backdash again. We see his mobility come into play. He's got the corner.
Oh my goodness,
Sit
three
still.
elbows, dapping him up ludicrous style. Throw them bows, straight hell. Taking a round for himself with that.
And he recognized exactly when he had top Mono to sit still with the grab right there.
Yeah, exactly right. He was like, all right, I feel like you're tired of getting
Yeah.
elbowed in the face. You'll take this throw finally. Great job from Mono right there, reading the fact that Strange Hill was going to try to close that distance.
Very unusual time to attack right there. Strange Hill did not expect.
Ooh, the big neutral jump that can start turning the tide of the round until Mono tech the throw. Now we're right back to the neutral. That was huge.
Hey, huge opportunity for Strange Hill. Even that's fine. He still gets to push into the corner. Does he get all the way through? Yes.
He does, right? He had been conditioning Mono with some early releases. Oh, he tried to walk out of it. Into his back cracked anyway, but speaking of walking out of it, oh, wake up C8 from Mono. Just reading the fact that Strange Hill was going to stay aggressive by any means necessary.
I don't know how many matches of Mono I've watched. Dozens, hundreds. I don't know if I've ever seen him do Wake Up Super. I'm serious. Like almost never that I can think of.
It's definitely a rare moment. It's one of those things where we talked about, oh my goodness, and he really scouts out the EX reversal perfectly. And that's one of those things, right? When you do it to the opponent, that's one of those things that they want to do back to you. Those EX reversals or those invincible reversals, and Strange Hill failed to do it this time. Mono with a perfect read. We're in the corner yet again here, having to deal with the plus frames. Thrown up and then again tried to escape, but Mono taming the beast.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about it more. I really like the Wake Up Super. We have seen how frenetically Strange Hill likes to play. This man is moving constantly. He is backdash, forward dash, trying to press buttons all over the place. He does not want it to not be his turn. So against that type of player, especially somebody, again, who Mono's going to know.
Yep.
They're going to know each other well. Mono totally understands, it seems to me, like what it is Strange Hill likes to do, and that super is just such a monkey wrench into that kind of playstyle.
Yeah, Strange Hill really wants to overwhelm his opponent. That's kind of been his MO since we've seen him play in this top 16. And Mono, that's the experience on a character like Fong, though. Like, you've been a struggle for so long, don't have that great of defensive options. Your composure and your just defensive decision-making is going to be so good if you're this good at this level with a character like this. So I really love the way Mono has just been controlling the pace.
Plus frames here. Strange Hill tried to take his turn. No quick rise that allows. Yeah, Strange Hill did try to press.
Oh yes, and that meaty light kick. Aha, the sweep does get him out of the counter crouch. I like him just taking the mid screen for himself. Kind of work Mono back towards the corner. Charging up that fireball, hoping that Mono would flinch considering he got guard broken last time.
Poison coming at him. What a little series right there, and still got poisoned anyway.
Yeah, the fireball hurt box. Put his hands right into the poison. Oh, that's a big crush counter. He didn't get a big combo off of it, though. No, oh, he needs to kill this time, and he does. Finds the EX to close it out.
Yeah, important moment to make sure he got it, because Mono had just built trigger and was probably going to be looking for activation, so Strange Hill shut it down before he could.
Oh, beautiful. Mono setting up shop right there.
Dude, when you get a full screen hit confirm like that, it feels good.
Yeah, falling right into his game plan and then having to respect the fireball, so no Oki off the sweep. Oh, no, and that is a big failed confirm. Wow, just the sweep in his face. I mean, he did have V-trigger to activate.
Jump, well, he pays a little bit for it.
Yeah, he's found a couple of good jump outs, especially backed by that Tatsu, but it hasn't mattered. Oh, and Mono again reading Strange held like a book right there, really catching on to the rhythm of these EX reversals.
Yeah, you can really see the person-to-person knowledge come into play. Not just about character matchups, of course. That's how fighting games, all competitions are.
Yeah.
It's ultimately about you versus the other person. Mono knows a lot about that.
Oh my goodness, and a great whip punish right there on the guard crouch. Excuse me, on the counter crouch. Yeah, you can tell Strange Hell, he feels a little lost. He doesn't feel as confident as he once did. And right now, Mono definitely mixing him up some more, just giving him that poison to deal with right in front of him, putting the cloud inches away. Just doesn't feel comfortable at all. You can tell. Finally finds the cross up too. The Mono finally identified, right? He was like, bro, you feel uncomfortable. You're not moving around anymore. Tries to throw out the fireball, not having the wherewithal to realize the poison was going to kill him off in the process. 3-0 to Mono. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight the fact that he really saved the cross-up till he trained Strange Hell to stop moving around. Like, he was like, nope, I'm going to stay persistent. I'm going to stay compact with the frame traps and the pressure. Just in your face, not going to let you move around until finally in the very last round where Strange Hell was parked with a down back.
Very good example, again, of somebody who has knowledge of how to play against the opposing player specifically. Thinking about, as you just highlighted that series, thinking about as well the Wake Up Super that we saw, which is very rare from Mono in general, but which was really important in this match.
Yeah, it really, I think, shifted a lot of momentum. It kind of prevented Strange Hell from getting back into the game, as you saw right there, right? That's what prevented the match from going 1-1. It tied the setup. Mono got to kind of ride that momentum from the Wake Up Super into the subsequent round as well, and Strange Hell just couldn't really get it all together. He had a couple of big hits, right? We talked about reuse damage output and his ability to follow up on a knockdown, and that led him to get a couple of round victories. But when it came to game matches, Mono was just too solid. He knew what Strange Hell's game plan was too well, and he just shut it down.
So he moves on. We're now going to move on to the next side of losers, which will be Tigers Jimmy DR versus Red Rooster Ajax Fidelity. We were talking a lot about the path that Ajax Fidelity has had so far, and who sent him to the loser side but this very player right here, Tigers Jimmy DR. So it is the run back between these two. When they played previously in winner side, it was a 2-1 victory by Jimmy.
Most definitely. So Ajax will be getting his run back. That's right. This is the boxing match. I remember now. Both players going to put the gloves on, slug it out, swing for the fences. That's what I'm hoping to see. But yeah, this is a real interesting matchup as well, because if Ajax gets the W here, that means that for top 4, we got 2 players from the Dominican Republic and 2 players from Puerto Rico. That'd be super
interesting.
sick.
Yeah.
Most definitely going into this 5-3 with the Dominican Republic being favored just slightly, right? But Puerto Rico, this has traditionally been heavily Dominican Republic dominated, right? Like we're talking about 6-2, 7-1 usually. Yep. So the 5-3 is already a dub. So the fact that it could be 2-2 in the final 4 just shows the growth, I think, of Puerto Rico, and definitely starting to keep up with the Dominican Republic in a way that they didn't before.
Very, very cool to see. Absolutely right. Yeah. Again, it's a very strong region, and these are the 2 powerhouses, certainly, within that region.
For sure.
But as you were saying, it hasn't always been an even rivalry between them. So cool to see. Anyway, we'll see if that happens, or if it's just going to be Jimmy who moves on, as he did previously, after all, sending Ajax on the loser side. Yeah, but boy, the way that Ajax has been playing, man.
Coming off that World Warrior victory, too. That's a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence, man. I imagine he's going to have Mono in his corner as well, right? Mono coming off of this W right here, supporting his countrymate, his Red Rooster brethren. And talking him through the process right here. Jimmy is no joke. We talk about his exploits, how good he's been in this region and beyond for so long in Street Fighter V now. And we talked about his tendency to be reversal, right? Doesn't like to give his opponent that first bit of offense. But right there, tried to jump out of it, and that swing from Ed actually caught him. Able to end up comboing into the V-trigger off of it.
Full on into the corner now. Yeah, there comes the V reversal. As we've seen throughout this top 16, sending it back to neutral. But
Ridiculous.
there's
whiff
Ajax
punish.
Fidelity.
What in the world? Woo! Okay, then you want to swing on that. My man's juggling, whipping buttons in the process. A little style on the table. Oh, but no style here. My goodness, he kept going for the resets. He got it over
there. No!
Oh, it shut down the V-trigger just in time.
It's not enough.
No, it's going to put him away. Oh, Ajax with the hezzy on the EX reversal. Didn't do it immediately on wake up. Just that slight moment gave him the window of opportunity he needed.
What a first round right there. Oh my God, back and forth.
That's what I want to see, bro. Slug it out. Let's go 12 rounds with this. A true boxing match. Even though Fidelity, bare knuckle style with the Ed.
Woo!
Oh, yeah, preserve some of the
more?
hits. Oh, my goodness, he gets the juggle point because of it. Now the legs get checked.
Uh-oh,
You
stun.
are hit away, bro. Nice. They're getting some breathing room here. Jimmy EX into the plus frames. Oh, my goodness, but Ajax with a perfect walk back and the recognition on the rush punch. He is really looking so smooth ever since this top 16 has begun.
Neutral jump, hoping to get on top of a flicker, and that's just not what Ajax.
Oh, why are you pressing buttons in my face, fam? Ajax teaching him a lesson time and time again. No whiffs around here are going to be allowed. Oh, man, this is wild to see Ajax playing this well already out the gate.
Again, he has not lost a game since he got sent to losers. And his opponents, we've been talking about Kaba among them. We saw just in the last one when it was crossover as well.
Yeah, Kaba, crossover, Lilo. Now he's going up against Jimmy. These are titans right here of the region. And he is taking them down one by one. 1, 2, 3 by one, I should say.
Okay, here's Jimmy extending a little bit farther than he had before. But you know what? I really like the charge fears. We've seen that twice now in this top 8 by Ajax, specifically when he's cornered and wants to get out of the corner.
And I love him following it up with the V-shift. Like, that was the perfect way to get out of that scenario. I really, really am a fan.
Very smart.
Oh, no, that anti-air didn't work? I cannot believe. Jimmy, though, hopefully not too discouraged mentally. Ajax, though, challenging perfectly. Once again, V-trigger. Are you going to jump in? No. And see, yeah, with it being so many hits, I love the V-reversal from Jimmy right there because Ajax waited. He was plotting. As soon as he saw the hit, he was going to dash in and preserve some more. What a tech throw for the round. Oh, put that away. Jimmy showing some clean reactions of his own.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
and it started out with him extending more than he had before. Yeah, it started with this. Same idea. Overhead this time, but same idea to V-skill in the middle of it.
That was wild. Yeah, to tap into the V-skill overhead. Catching Ajax off guard, really trying to show him some trickery right now. Oh, hey. No. And yeah, a lot of times when people start getting tricked and getting mixed like that, they respond with an EX reversal. So great patience from Jimmy. Oh, yeah, nowhere to go. The sweep gets the crush counter. The throw takes him down. And it is a one up in the blink of an eye.
Just like that, it's no longer a full-on win streak in loser's side. It's 1-1. Ajax Fidelity sent back down to the earth. And I love the way that Jimmy did it. It was so intentionally offensive.
Yeah.
He was so obviously like, I will not be put at mid-range. Like, I will not be put on the back foot. I need to be the one charging in there right away. I think Ajax has got to look more for that kind of play.
Yeah, right now I want to see how Ajax kind of counters that CQC, that close quarters combat that Jimmy was really doing so well. Because he was either outside of this flicker range doing rush punches or he was inside of it not having to worry about it. Obviously Ajax now back in that space where he wants to be. Beautiful anti-air on that neutral jump as well. We've seen a couple of players respond to that flicker pressure with a neutral jump attempt, right? You can get a fat punish if you do it correctly.
Hey, a little bit of damage for Jimmy. Back to this. Safe activation. Oh!
Just so many hits right there. Jimmy trying to trade. Maybe it was hoping that Ajax was baiting out a V-reversal. Great whiff punish again.
It's not your turn anymore, man. Yeah, if you do the 2.
That's why Ajax can do immediately. Just put the knee on him real quick. The dirty fighting. Gotta be careful.
Chip is actually going to become a problem. The flicker doesn't do as much chip damage as other multi-hit specials, but it's going to be fine in that situation, of course. And yet, even though it doesn't do as much chip as some, if you count up how much chip damage he's getting from that single special move,
yeah,
it's like a huge percentage of the overall damage that he deals.
Exactly. The chip just ends up adding up time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, it really is like 5 or 10% of the damage that he gets, and that's a huge amount for just chip damage alone.
Exactly right. Just for a really great neutral tool that your opponent is dealing with by blocking. Big crush counter coming out on the end of the V shift as well. Immediate viewer reversal. We've seen that time again from Jimmy. Does not like to be cornered by his opponent. Wants to get back to that mid screen. Has fought back here well. Ajax, yeah, he was just really looking for that safe spot to activate. Catches Jimmy from big damage off of it. Oh,
funky timing!
Collision. Indeed, Ajax catches Jimmy off guard right there, trying to take his turn back, but no, shuts it down. That compact pressure. Ajax adjusting perfectly.
Yeah, and he adjusted in much the same way that Jimmy had adjusted in the previous game. That is to say, he kind of rushed in at the start of that first round right there. So rather than Jimmy even getting the chance to get his own offensive play started. And when we've seen Ajax on pressure, he's been the one who's getting the W. Jimmy's got to think about that. Obviously, much easier to get started offensively to say that than to actually do that.
Yeah.
But that is what the desire needs to be for Jimmy here.
And that's why I'm so interested in seeing how this early round starts and what the result ends up being, right? Because it really has seemed like whoever gets that offense to start it off heavy just kind of runs away with the round. They've just been presenting too much for their opponent to kind of maintain defensively. Now Ajax, he's gonna get a shot here, right? This was as big of a shot as you can get defensively to turn the game around. The V-trigger gave him some breathing room. He was able to put Jimmy in the corner now. Oh, but Jimmy back to back with a low second time the EX. Oh, reaching here. The Psycho Knuckle, yeah. Maybe Ajax was hoping that Jimmy would think he would commit to a big EX, but didn't do it.
You see Ajax overextending a little bit here, and Jimmy hasn't made him pay for it yet, but it's a noticeable change. Jimmy very patient. Hey, finally.
Very nice indeed. And yeah, I mean, that's something to harken back to what you said. Jimmy was able to get the life lead early, just sat on it effectively. Didn't really let Ajax start his game, and we're starting the same round here.
Nice spacing.
Max range. Ajax, yeah, feeling a little uncomfortable. Gonna bust out. Ooh. Does get with a big roundhouse. You can see how much damage that leads to. We got the corner as well. The reversal again. The classic Jimmy. Oh, and Ajax. Yeah, you can really tell he was feeling the pressure of that round. Busts out with an EX again and then gets thrown for his trouble. It is 2 up.
Let's go. This is our first tied one. It's going to be our first full 5-game set that we've had here in this top 8. And again, this is the run back from winner's side when Jimmy sent Ajax Fidelity down into the loser's side.
That was a real, I am so annoyed, EXDP at the end right there from Ajax Fidelity, because Jimmy had just been shutting him down from a far range, right? Like, yeah, his rush punch timings were just so good. Crouch medium punch, stand fierce. Everything was hitting to the point where Ajax was like, well, I feel like I got to use something invincible from this range. And unfortunately for him, Jimmy was waiting for it. So great stuff from Jimmy right now. And again, picking up where he left off with this round. So active with the buttons. However, Ajax willing to put his life on the line with a throw, and it's paying off big.
Denying the chance to V-reversal easily. Yeah, again, I love this. That has been such a go-to.
Oh my gosh,
Ajax
in a row.
Maybe holding on to this idea for the final game. He's got to get the W. No, maybe he won't. Will he in time? No. Maybe chance for activation. Oh my God, the grab. So after having seen so many block into V-reversal as defensive choice, Ajax just shuts it down, goes to match point on the strength of throwing instead.
So good, man. Oh, and again, Ajax now starting to find his rhythm offensively in this neutral ground, but Jimmy with a perfect dash button timing does get challenged here. Ajax, ooh, gets his charge fears baited and punished heavily. We in the corner now. We are honestly on the verge of a final round if that stun bar gets depleted. V-trigger, V-reversal timed super well from Jimmy here. He's going to have Ajax still locked down in this corner. Playing Warden right now, not letting him go anywhere. Ooh, okay, gets a knockdown, some breathing room.
Offensive V-rev, Ajax life bar in trouble. He can punish. Chooses to hold on to EX.
Oh, finally, the rush punch comes out, catches him moving forward. This is a last round.
It has been so much about which one of them gets started first. Jimmy hoping that it's him. EX spent on that. However, Ajax finds the whip punish.
And see, Ajax, he knows every bit of a life lead matters right now. That's why he's willing to spin these EXs. Oh, again, just outside the range. He's staying at a perfect spot right now.
Looking for the same kind of stuff.
Oh, that was a good catch on the Great Life as well. Another big dash button from Jimmy. Oh, he's brought this back big, but Ajax reads the reset attempt. That was huge.
Instantly into trigger. That's not going to work for Jimmy. He's in trouble.
Oh,
Grab could kill.
Goodness. The backdoor will do it. Ajax Fidelity holds on, clutches out the set 3-2. What a final game adjustment in terms of play style right there. That's the type of stuff you need in sets this high level. Ajax Fidelity going to be moving on to loser semifinals.
It's so interesting thinking about how he chose to pressure in the corner so many of those rounds. Just being willing to flicker, almost knowing that Jimmy was going to block, and then V-reversal. That happened throughout the set. It has been Jimmy's go-to defensively throughout the top 16, throughout the top 8 so far, and Ajax held on to that knowledge and didn't have the solution to it regularly until that very final game. Holding on to that may have been a huge part of not allowing Jimmy to adapt defensively at all.
It really, I think, speaks to kind of how you manage a game plan, and even when you know what to do to counter your opponent, it's all about when you do it.
Exactly.
Right? Like, because right there, Ajax, he was letting Jimmy get away with that defensive option time and time again, right? He was like, all right, we're going to let you do this. We're going to let you do this and give you 4 games of feeling comfortable about doing this. I'm going to try to finish you off without going to that, right? Trying to win these W's without trying to counter that main defensive strategy. But when there's no games left to adjust to me countering that, that's when I'm going to pull it out. Perfect strategy from Ajax right there. He was able to take the lead early on in that first game 5 because of it, and it just really rode the momentum right there. Even with Jimmy forcing a final round, Ajax felt very much comfortable and in control in that game 5.
Man, what a top 8. We knew it was going to be good,
Yes.
but what a top 8 we have had so far. That was our first one that's gone all the way down to the wire, but the others have been compelling as well. Here's how it currently stands. Bandits Mena RD and Tigers Brian D in winners finals, both players Dominican Republic. Loser semifinals, Red Rooster Mono, Red Rooster Ajax Fidelity, both of them Puerto Rico.
That is so sick, man. Definitely pretty much what you always desire when it comes to countries being represented in a bracket. If it's 8 different countries represented in the bracket, I wanted 8 different countries in top 8, right? So the fact that we got the 2 powerhouses and the top 4 are 2 from the Dominican Republic and 2 from Puerto Rico. Couldn't have asked for a better way for this top 8 to play out, honestly. And with the way all these 4 players are playing, I know we're going to continue to get some phenomenal matches for sure, of course. But right now, I want to tell you all about the lovely game everyone knows about, the Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel, which is now available for download in China with a global version coming soon. The epic legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel now and let's fight for each other and join Journey with the millions of players to become the best fighter in the world.
Let's talk about these tracksuits and talk about these costumes in
tell me
Street
about
Fighter
it.
5. We all know that the event's winning character will unlock all the colors for everybody, which is great. Now you can get all of that, as you can see right there yourself, but if you'd like to wait for somebody to win, you can do that too. So far, we have seen Luke, Falk, Dalsum, Jury, Cody, and Bison take CPTs. So those are the ones that are unlocked. We have who remaining now? We have Ed, we have Fang, we have whatever character Mena RD wants to use.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
The same thing with Brian, really.
Yeah,
whatever
really, yeah.
character Brian is wanting to use.
Yeah, could be Guile, could be Birdie, etc., etc., etc. So we'll see. There's a lot to be rooting for. But keep an eye on that.
Ooh, most definitely. So thank you all for joining us so far here at Capcom Fighters. We'll be right back with top 4 action in this tremendous region. The bracket has already been dope. Don't go anywhere. We will return shortly.
We're here for the top 4 of CPT Central America East. That's the Caribbean. This is the best chance to qualify for at least one of these players, if not for many of them. As in this top 4, we'll head into the bracket here, show you exactly what we have going on. We have Mena RD waiting in winner's side. Winner's finals is where he is, and Brian D is his opponent. We've mentioned this earlier, but Mena RD is actually part of the TO team that is doing the World Warrior event for this region, which means that he can't access that route as a chance to make Capcom Cup. his best chance is probably right now. If it's not right now, it's next weekend for EVO, which is also plausible for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
And maybe the LCQ at the end, but, you know, he wants to wrap it up right now.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to disparage MetaRD's skill level by any means, but when your best chance is EVO, it's
Right,
tough,
yeah.
right?
It's tough.
It's a rough spot to
For
be in, for
everybody,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. So he definitely wants to try. Exactly, for everybody. It doesn't
Everybody.
matter who you are. Daigo, Tokido, Punk, Idom, it doesn't matter. So for Mena, this is definitely going to be a prime position to kind of qualify for Capcom Cup for sure. Because as you mentioned, Blink and him are running the World Warrior events. I want to give a big shout outs to Blink in general too, because not only do they hold it down for the Dominican Republic, but they do it in style. And I'm always a big fan of the showmanship. I always like the graphics they put together for the players and all that type of stuff. So definitely big ups to Blink for sure. But he's going to be going up against Brian, who has been a monster up until this point, right? He was able to defeat Kaba. He was able to defeat Mono. Those are two huge favorites to take the whole thing in this tournament. So the fact that Brian was able to defeat them and kind of just been on this continuous rise in terms of results is a tough mountain to overcome with Mena. But he is on a hot streak that is capable of doing so.
Yeah, for him, there's a couple of character choices. You know, we have seen the Luke, we've seen the Guile. On MetaRD's side, there are just so many. Yeah. I was talking with somebody recently who was just talking so much about how he has so many characters under his belt. And it's not that he is the most optimal with all of them, although he is probably with at least some of them.
Yeah.
It's that he knows how to play everybody. And he's never going to be caught off guard. Regardless of what his opponent's going to bring, he knows it all because he plays it all. He just has a ton of experience, and the way that he makes sure to always have that knowledge under his belt, you can tell he is a grinder. He's somebody who thinks about the game and plays the game more than almost anybody.
Yeah, you could tell sometimes when players start to get overwhelmed or they start to get flustered via a lack of knowledge or unfamiliarity with the situation, and they start cracking a little bit. You can kind of see their game plan and their mental fortitude fall apart. I don't ever see that happen with Mena. Like, Mena legitimately is always comfortable in damn near every spot he finds himself in, even when he's losing, even when another player is hot and is kind of running over him. He never, like, lets them have anything. He never gives them any damage. You have to earn every single hit, every single step of the way with Mena. He's just that good and that composed. So definitely a tough player to overcome. But Brian, extremely hot right now in terms of momentum. Very good. Obviously a young gun himself, even younger than MetaRD, who is already a baby. So yeah, it is definitely an interesting way to go into winners finals, both representing the Dominican Republic as well. So should be very familiar with each other's play style.
I looked up on FG Combo how often they've played each other and the results, and there are double-digit amounts of sets they've played against each other in big tournaments. MetaRD has a 92% win rate.
On double-digit sets, that is a high win rate indeed. And again, we talk about this. This is the type of pressure that makes diamonds, though. Brian, if he was able to overcome Mena in a scenario like this to get into Grand Finals winner side of Capcom Cup, that's going to elevate him as a player entirely. So again, it's a whole lot of work to do so right now, but this is the type of stuff that will legitimately level you up. MetaRD off to a great start in this first round, really controlling up. Oh, but he takes a big bet, and Brian should make him pay with his entire life, efficient with it as well, only spinning a single bar.
Very interesting that he blocked, seemingly just patient on reaction, expecting activation. After activation, though, he busted out.
Yeah, most definitely. Mena just expecting Brian to commit to something after the activate, right? You have the charge because of the activation freeze, so you really can do whatever you want as Guile. But man, he just blocked. Mena not expecting that. Great confirm off the crouch medium kick. We see that time and time again. You ain't going nowhere. Cross cut to at least make him pay for leaving the corner.
Hey, oh, not quite there on the whiff punish. Oh, this spacing right here by Mena. Hold on though, Brian D.
He's fully loaded in terms of resources.
Gonna go for the knockdown.
Ooh.
Oh, what a challenge!
And Mena right there. He ended up catching Brian too. I thought he was expecting him to block. That's why we went a couple of crouch jabs. Expecting him to block because of the EX reversal last round, but he does not care. Now Brian, oh, I was just gonna say an optimal range, but the EX blasts his way through it.
Brian's got to be really patient here on the approach. He does need to get in. He's got to approach. Mena's not going to kill himself by walking into something.
Yeah, most definitely not. Mena's chilling. I do like him not being too timid, though, right? We talked about that yesterday. Sometimes you can be a little bit too defensive with these life-leading scenarios. And Mena, yeah. Oh, there you go. he never overexerted anything, right? He walked up, he got block normals, he made sure he was in range when he did the normals, and right there, just patiently waiting for a whip punish. Now Mena gonna set up shop again, does take a back fist, but a great response right there. We've seen Brian, really be active after those back fists, and he paid for it that time. Mena on the verge of stun, gets the shimmy successfully. With the install, it's gonna be a lot of damage. EX afterwards, another EX. He had a DP after that, so even if Brian wasn't dead off that, he was definitely going to be in the grave one way or another. Mena off to a great start.
With the exception of that read at the end of the first round where he tried a DP, I really liked a ton of what Mena RD did. He, as we were talking about, didn't overextend unnecessarily in many situations. He was a threat from full screen. He was a threat from close. He was hit confirming well into damage and into Oki as Luke gets. So just played it great.
Yeah, he really rode that line between patient and timid and over-aggressive. Like, he played it perfectly. He didn't stay back too much. He didn't overexert himself. Like, you could just see how good he is in fighting games.
And by the way, how often he's played against Guile. Not just Shirley Brian D's, but Kava's as well.
It's great thing to bring up for sure. He's got to be one of the most comfortable players in existence in this matchup.
Absolutely.
Straight up. So yeah, that's honestly a testament to Brian. The fact that these haven't been free. Like,
yeah.
You know, he's obviously has quite a strong guile. Did try to bet on a big jump in there, but Mena RD lying in wait.
Yeah, that was a range where he could still harass with V-Trigger. He could look for the anti-air, of course. Really safe spot.
I love this Mena too. Ooh, the big crush counter. See, try to get him with the hesitation on the meaty. But good defense from Brian D. Even better offense right there, baiting out Mena RD's EX reversal.
Yeah. Oh, what a jump out of Mena. After having shut down Brian's last round, here's Mena RD.
Oh no, this ended up not completing that comp.
Baby Boom's on the approach.
Oh,
come on.
And he gets the juggle afterwards. Mena is too sick. The jump is anti-aired finally from Brian D that time.
Brian D is a threat to just get a chip kill here.
Oh, he didn't confirm. Nothing afterwards, but the EX does kill him off. Well done from Brian D. And holding on to the meter as well. Good stuff.
He really is not going quietly here. He's
kept
it pretty close.
And it's been on some big reads, honestly. Like, he's had some great reads on Mena RD's EX reversal timings. But now Mena has found himself in the corner again, building up that great live. Ooh, the jab as well. Oh my goodness, he's so good at pressing on hit as well. Brian, though, with a bust out.
Yeah, his choice now to do that same idea.
Big sweep from Mena. He did not activate on block either. Willing to let that first one go for another attempt at it.
Right, maybe hoping to have baited a jump there. Mena did not give in. Here's the jump.
Man. Mena RD.
No!
Oh, I was going to talk about a point, but now I can't.
It's not over yet.
Ooh, instead, Brian.
Is Mega not over now, Brian?
He's roaring back. Got him locked in this corner here. Mena, see, inching his way around and gets the crush counter off the sweep. Go to the V-Trigger after that if it was blocked. Good stuff from Mena RD. Now up 2 games, but man, fighting tooth and nail for every dub he's getting for sure has not been easy.
No, absolutely not.
So what I wanted to talk about was the fact that I really love how much Mena is willing to jump in a matchup like this. You start to see a lot, like when players play at this high level with his 2 world-class caliber players, they'll just stay their ass on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, they're never jumping. It doesn't matter if it's Guile. It doesn't matter if the projectile game is really annoying them. They, like, never jump. Mena, he's willing to take those risks, right? We see the EX reversals. We see the jumps. And he feels like he's never discouraged or mentally distraught from them getting countered. Like, he always seems composed. He always knows the viability of those options. Like, it's just so impressive to me the way he weighs these decisions.
Yeah, he did the same thing at the beginning of this round. Jumped right in. He was anti-aired, but he's clearly not put off by that.
Yeah, he's been anti-aired multiple times, right? He's had his EX reversals baited multiple times. We still see him bust out. We still see him jump. Like, and it doesn't cost him whole games. He's up 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
Like, the way he manages his resources and balances it is perfect. And again, another big jump, and you got to take those risks sometimes against Guile. It's a huge reward, and it just does so much mental damage to the opponent.
Again!
My goodness, thank you, Meta.
You're
Thank
right,
you.
yeah.
You know, I wanted to highlight this. I'm glad he's showing it off.
Brian tried to do the same thing, but no, he shut down right away.
Oh, get off me. And again, the EX reversal bust out, right? It doesn't matter if they've been baited a couple of times early on in the set. He's just so confident in these reads. Again, the jump. Stop trying to set up shop on me. Mena RD. Ooh, Brian, though, not going quietly into the night here. Activates the V-trigger from his own side. But Mena, again, he shut it down once that way. He shut it down twice that way. And my goodness, a 3-0 schooling by the Titan of the region.
Mena RD took down Jimmy DR 3-0 in winners at the start of this top 8. And 3-0 yet again versus Brian D. We all knew he was one of the favorites, and he is absolutely making that clear. Winners side grand finals, he'll be hanging out. And yeah, it wasn't like this was for free. Brian had rounds in 2 of those games. He battled pretty well in a lot of these situations. But as it went on, you could really see that Mena was not willing to give up on these choices, and he was so right about so many of them. The jump-ins into significant damage and Oki, the EXs to get Brian off of him, and then immediately get Oki, just turn it around right away.
Game 3 was the game that felt like the most of a skill gap.
Yes.
Right? First 2 games felt like they honestly could have went either way. Like Brian D was making him work extremely hard for those Ws. But those 2 games of intel to somebody like Mena RD, and he already won those first 2 games, it was going to be real tough to not get 3-0'd in that position. Mena is just so good at adapting to his opponent and really catching on to their habits. So well done from him as per usual right there. He'll be taking that pole position, that winner side slot in grand finals, as he's so familiar with. So Mena RD posted up. Brian D fall into the losers finals to await the winner of Mono versus Ajax Fidelity.
Well, that's where we're headed now. Between 2 players on Team Red Rooster, team in Puerto Rico that has been putting on events, doing a great job in that local scene. And Mono is part of this as well, certainly, of just building awareness, getting sponsors involved, getting government even involved in Puerto Rico. Yeah, he does a great job at that. And again, he's not the only one. So the scene there is doing really, really well. First Attack, the event that he runs, is going to be in a couple of months. I think it's in October this year.
I believe so.
And it is always a blast. I've been there multiple times.
Same.
It's been, it's always been super well run. The scene is really cool and nice to hang out with. There's a lot to do. I really enjoy that event.
Yeah, the area around the event, there's so much to do. The beach is not far.
Yeah.
Beautiful beaches in Puerto Rico. And
sure.
Mono is like super nice guy. Like you ask him any question about what he's got you. Not even with just like a 1-word answer. He's got the 200-word essay on deck to make sure you find the spots that are going to be fun. So yeah, I have nothing but nice things to say about that tournament and about the player. But of course, Ajax Fidelity, maybe in kind of like a little bit of a mentorship role, right? Mono, kind of the godfather of the country. Ajax, the one on the come up. Even Mono himself highlighting the fact that Ajax has really been stepping it up in the past year and a half. This is a big test for the kid right now.
Absolutely right. And he starts it off pretty well, aggressively dashing, then V-skill, and immediately into this position of harassment with Flicker, backing off to a range where he can feel comfortable. We've seen this before, and it's effective.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, we seen Ajax not abuse the V-skill too. He's definitely been smart with the way he utilizes it. And something we're seeing from him right now that we haven't been seeing is that V-trigger too.
It's true.
Yeah. Mono, ducks real quick.
Yeah, that makes sense. It probably is hard to make V-trigger want to work out versus a character with things like EX Command Dash.
Yeah, I guess that would be the reason, right? A lot of the time he could kind of respond to that as soon as he ends up blocking it.
Oh man, what a solution right there. That was him trying to jump over a roundhouse sweep. A sweep activate, I should say, and Mono on reaction with jump strong interferes. Here's the activation on reaction as well.
Go down the poison. Oh, with the V-skill going straight through all of that. That's big for Ajax. Yeah, nice jump out from Mono afterwards. Not being, tamed.
Oh, just barely in time on the jump.
Yeah, indeed. Mono clutching it out. Make sure he held on to that life lead. It got a little bit scary for a second right there as Ajax started his game. But overall, Mono has been looking solid. I wonder if the flight from Fong also like throws off Ed's anti-air. Like, he gets pretty high up there, but it might be another reason why he doesn't want to use V-Trigger 1.
Here's Mono. Just very comfortable in that neutral range.
And Ajax, yeah, we've seen him be willing to bust out with a bit of long-distance EX reversals, right? When he feels uncomfortable, when he feels like his opponent is real buttons happy from a distance, he'll risk it.
Challenge suddenly, but here's Ajax.
Oh, and the deep, he hesitated on that meaty just long enough to give Mono those jump frames. Yeah, I'm not sure what the heck happened there.
Yeah, jump liking, probably instant overhead, but then a weird not anything from Mono. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, all right, Ajax Fidelity getting it right there.
Super kick party with the medium kick.
Final round. Fight.
And I'm so glad to see that this is already going to be a close set. Both these players, two of the strongest in the region. Ajax really, though, under the pressure that makes diamonds, he's trying to level up as a player. Overall, Mono continuing his hot streak here. Another top 4 finish for him, but you know he wants that first place.
Reactions are on point right now by Ajax on hit confirms, on getting through things like the mines. Here he is up close.
Oh, and even punished that. Didn't get a big punish off of it, but didn't let Mono escape for free.
Oh, too far! Funky.
Yeah, he tried to get the crouch medium kick punish, but just outside the range. He shifted the in. I like that. Oh, and the flicker to the EX follow-up sets him up perfectly for a strike throw guess. Mono taking the throw and taking it to the grave.
This Ajax Fidelity, man, he is
pretty good.
Super good today. I love it. Again, and as Mono said, he has noticed that even just in recent times, Ajax Fidelity has gone from a good player to being a really, really good player.
I'm telling you, man, as far as my familiarity goes with Ajax, I always considered him like gatekeeper status. But now, 2021, 2022, he has definitely graduated from that. Love to see players level up.
Yeah, the two players, again, who have played each other so many times. There's so much existing knowledge between these two. It's not going to be a lot of, finding out new things mid-set. It's going to be more about making these small adaptations here and there.
Yeah, it's really 1 or 2 decisions that are going to make the difference. These blocked EX reversals, these hard baits that you see reward hugely in certain circumstances. Oh my goodness, that was a funky situation. Couldn't even tell what Ed was really up to right there, but the fireball grants him a huge reward. Already in the corner now. Still doesn't get that punch that he's looking for at the end of the EX dash out.
And he was clearly looking for it.
Yeah. He's waited a couple of times where he straight up walks towards Mono, and then right as he wakes up, he walks back. Like, he is trying to get that punish. It is difficult, though. Yeah, and fully loaded on meter. No hesitation to spin a bar of it, right?
Yeah.
Start dragging it to the corner, get that hefty life lead going. Oh, no, but the backdash gets flipped by the second knee.
Yeah, confirmed right there by Mono. Trying to hunt again. A lot of gray life, a lot of chip.
Yeah, right. Lots of just annoying offense from both characters. But Ajax, yeah, he wants to conserve some of that health. Doesn't want to get cashed out on.
Woo! Very unorthodox timing for that, and that's why it worked.
Yes, sir. Plus frames off that fireball. Respected it. Did not respect the poison, though. Now he's ticking down.
Does he get a whip punish? Oh, boy.
One of the few times Flicker doesn't bring him far enough forward to get the combo, and really tricky scenario at the end right there. Mono cashing out on that advantageous spot to tie up the set.
Right before that, too, it was Mono looking for Ajax Fidelity to do something like a neutral jump over an expected activation point as he had before, and that's just not what came right there. So Mono was patient. He looked for his correct spot to start things off, and he finally did.
See, from game to game, round to round, the adaptations, right? It's so sick watching both of these players adjust to each other so quickly. And we haven't really seen Mono bust out that counter crouch much, right? We finally see it here. Actually, low profile. The roundhouse is a big move that Ed's like to fish for.
Oh, Chase.
Oh, speaking of chase, this man is getting chased down. Ran down.
Suddenly, all these big buttons and chasing options have been killer for Mono. That said, he's caught in the corner. Yes, here's Ajax Fidelity. Yo, big stuff!
My goodness. The crouch fear shimmy, you gotta do him like that. Big damage here, one combo away, but somehow Mono again finding his way out via the EX dash. And when it responds with the sleeves, that was great recognition of the range. Oh no, he didn't complete the combo. Busts out from EX, and Ajax takes that scramble for the dub.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was just like a straight up combo drop.
Right.
And Ajax had the EX ready, or if it was an intentional reset attempt, I don't recall. But either way, Ajax making the most out of those situations. And those are the moments we talk about that can really separate the dub from the loss here. Like, both of these players are so evenly matched right now, playing at an elite level. Just a small instances like that can separate the set victories.
He may be overextended a little bit, hunting for that stun.
He was thirsty for it. He wanted it.
Uh-oh, just like that, he's going to be towards the corner. Ah, hold on.
And no slight mistimed on that meaty, but nonetheless, oh no, that time didn't reach where he wanted it to.
And it was such an unexpected spot. Mono was not ready for a big punish. Here comes Ajax Fidelity now. He's got the chance to get through.
Oh no, he got caught. He just got caught moving in the middle of that block string. I'm not sure if he tried to like input an EX dash maybe in between those, right, to try to get out of that. That's the only thing I can really think of in that instance, but tough to do so. Maybe it just didn't give him as large of a window as he thought, so as soon as he started the motion, he got clipped. Could be what it was, but either way, Ajax, he'll be happy with that. The way that game shook out, it was a couple of situations that got away from Mono, and Ajax is going to be able to take the lead because of it.
Again, this is the guy who won the first recent World Warrior event in their region, Ajax Fidelity, and he is just looking killer right now. One game away from sending Mono out of this tournament.
And that was a World Warrior that was stacked with damn near everybody that you see in this top 8, minus Mena and Mono. Ajax, once again, now ticking down to the poison a little bit, but he's not being overzealous about getting rid of it, right? Playing very smart, but I love the way Mono, as soon as he saw that poison was about to run out, he put out another one. It's ticking down. It's actually taking a decent amount of life from him already in this set.
And building a great V-meter for Mono as well, who has a trigger ready to go, even though he barely has been hit.
Well, that's a great point. Oh, finally, though. This is a jump. Thought Ajax was hyper-focused on the ground, but no, he was ready either way.
Crabs out.
The old Dr. Zoidberg.
Dude, the sound effect always gets me on that.
And they try to 1-2-3 him down. We heard Ajax's quote. He's like, these players might be great, but they got to deal with the 1-2-3. And now Mono combating it well. Cuts him off, doesn't even give him access to it, and the trip one more time. Well done.
We have not seen many sweep activates in this set. It's been Ajax Fidelity mostly away from that or on top of it, that kind of thing. Finally, Mono found the opportunity.
And again, take the poison. We already saw it. It honestly did a lot of work in that last round. Anytime you get this type of tempo and pace where it's super slow, like that poison ends up doing way more damage than you think. And you got to watch out. I was going to say, just as it runs out too, since it's that type of tempo, Mono's going to be looking to put that out time and time again. Oh, yes, leaves up. The rebound. Oh, baited him into it. That was perfect.
I love it from Mono. What a read right there.
Yeah, Ajax has shown that card a couple of times, right? That extended V skill to get through the big poison cloud.
There's the poison that just built trigger from Mono. Sweep activate yet again. Hold on, it's not over. Ajax Fidelity has a character and a trigger that can still make it happen. It's not going to happen, though. It's tied 2-2. As this set has gone on, when there is an activation ready to go, we've seen Ajax Fidelity look less for sweep activate. Maybe he thought that neutral jumps clearly were the sign, right, to Mono, that's what he was looking for. And now we're not seeing him go to the sky in those situations. We're not seeing him backdash in those situations, so Mono's capitalizing.
Yeah, great adjustment again. We've seen it game to game, round to round. Both of these players really playing their asses off right now. Know what's on the line here, that Capcom Cup qualifying spot. Both of them have high respect for the other. And Mono, I gotta imagine he's feeling good going into this Game 5 because as we talked about, that Game 3, there was big situations that got away from him. Ajax capitalized heavily, but Mono was right there with him the whole time in neutral and decision making. And there in Game 4, he was able to take it. And right now, off to a hefty life lead. Again, doesn't have to worry about coming to Ajax Fidelity. Ajax got to worry about coming into him.
Mono hasn't gotten hit. He's only taken chip damage, and he's already built half of his V-trigger, more than half of his V-trigger. That poison is really adding up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's... Not punished.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Gonna get away with one. Yeah, Ajax, it just looks so frustrating right now. This wall of defense that Mono has been putting up, not letting the boy in.
Uh-huh. There's the trigger built, even though he has actually not been hit. Okay, finally, the first hit. And yeah, might as well spend it early because he will definitely get another one if he spends this fast. Punish. Mono can go in. Ajax is in big trouble. Match point, Mono.
Mono, what control in that game. Didn't let Ajax do anything he wanted. We'll see if Ajax shoots for a little bit more of a Hail Mary play or two here. Maybe a jump in, maybe a long distance EX, because right there he got shut down in the last round. But obviously he's going to try to prevent himself from getting at such a life deficit in the first place. And that's one way to do it. Beautiful neutral jump into the anti-air.
And the chase all the way into the corner. Here we go. Ajax is really capitalizing on this moment.
Oh! No! He finally found the crouch media punch, but too far for the follow-up.
There it is. He's looking for that so long. He finally gets it.
He needed it.
It's going to be match point now for both players. What a set.
Indeed, we're going to a last round. Ajax with his back against the wall finally finds the read he had been looking for all set long. And again here, there's so much about this start. Gets another neutral jump, but he even tried. He tried for the sweep or the crouch medium kick afterwards, and it was just too far still.
Okay, yeah. It is punishable up close. I guess he was at the right range.
Pushing through the poison. Ooh, now we get neutral jumps from Mono as well. We've seen that as a way to combat the flicker jab as well.
Oh, wow, Ajax, what a charge time. A little bit of a punisher from Mono. He chases it. His trigger's ready. Here he goes. And if he can find space, he takes up the spot. It's a real fireball. Ajax in big trouble.
Man, this is so difficult right now. He's fully loaded on resources, of course, but he needs to find that opening, and he can't. Mono, that round closing button, Fong's go to time and time again. The stand light keeps him at bay. Well done, holding on to a very intense set. Well played from both of our players, but Mono, the godfather of the region, once again, proving why he's been so good, why he's been so hot lately. Not only another top 4 finish, but at least a guaranteed top 3.
I gotta tell you, I think this is the match that Mono comes out of feeling good in 2 ways. One, yes, he wins the event, the match. He moves on in the event. That's cool. The other is seeing Ajax play as well as he just did, even in almost defeating Mono. But seeing that, I think has got to feel great for somebody who has done so much for the scene. And on Ajax's side, yeah, obviously, he wanted to win. He wanted to win the whole event. It was within his grasp.
Yeah.
He was close to doing it. And that as well, I think, is a great sign for him in the future. I think he can really feel good about this result as well. So for both of these players, there's more of a feeling involved, I think, than just I won, I lost. There's more going on here in terms of storylines.
Most definitely. I love to see Ajax really respond to this pressure. He did not go quietly into the night whatsoever, right? And going up against Mono, not only an incredible player in his own right, but somebody that has kind of established your scene. Like, Mono has done such great things for Puerto Rico, and like damn near every tournament you go to that's notable is run by him and his team, right? That is something that is could be a little bit intimidating just because he's someone that commands so much respect from the region and from the world. So I love the way Fidelity kind of faced down that respect and showed that, you know, when it comes to end game, I'm doing whatever it takes to get the W, and he really was not intimidated whatsoever. So as you mentioned, I really only hope this builds his confidence, and he needs to take this going forward. Very proud of his performance today because he has improved steadily as a player, and I can't wait to see him improve more. However, Mono is the one that got the W, clutched it out, going to be going up against Brian D to see who faces Meta in that grand finals.
What a match. We got a little bit more for you still, as you just said. Brian D versus Mono. That will be soon. But first, let's talk about Street Fighter Duel, which will be coming, I tell you, soon, the global version. It's already available in China. You can just go to China. Just go if you want to play. There it is. But if you don't want to do that, just wait for soon. The Epic Legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel soon, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to soon become the best fighter.
Indeed, and we are determining the best fighters all over the world via the World Warrior events. coming down. 26 different regions, 26 regional champions. You guys know what it is. These events happen monthly. Ajax Fidelity, who just got 4th right here, took 1st place in his region's World Warrior this weekend as well. So there's plenty of chances to making it in the Capcom Cup by partnering with one of these lovely TOs that are running all these tournaments around the world to get our players qualified again. Head on over to CapcomProTour.com for more information and how to register. So big ups to everybody that has joined us so far here on twitch.tv/CapcomFighters. It has been a hell of a bracket, and we're going to get back with the matches to determine our champion and see who gets in the Capcom Cup. Like I said before, don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everyone, to the Capcom Pro Tour. You know what it is if you've joined us so far, but however, if you've just joined us, it is Central America East. Not only the top 8, but we have arrived at top 3 status. I am Ringe. This is Ultra David. We only got 3 of our finest competitors left, and goddamn, they've been playing their asses off today. We're going to see who qualifies for Capcom Cup shortly. Mena is in that pole position, winner side grand finals, but who we got in losers, David?
And losers, we're going to have a run back between Mono and Brian D at the beginning of this top 8. That was the second match that we did. Look at it on the left side there. You can see what happened. Tigers Brian D took it 3-1, and now it's going to be a run back to make the grand finals. It's always a bummer to go into that position of being in winners finals and then losing twice. That would suck for Brian D.
For sure.
But on the other hand, it sucks if Mono were to lose the same dude twice. So bummers either side.
That's true. Little bit of extra salt for the losses, 100%, right? It's never easy to lose, but in both of these situations that these players find themselves in, it's going to be a little bit worse. However, Mono and Brian D both have been playing spectacularly well. Mono obviously has a little bit of the momentum side of things to his name, right? Started off in the losers bracket, didn't start in it, but got put in a little bit earlier because of Brian D, so he's gotten some W's to get to this point. While Brian coming off of a loss, he's got to compose himself. He did break out that guile up against Mono, which Mono himself said was the best character to give him a chance at the W. Now, I assume he's going to keep sticking with it, but Mono had a whole set of intel to kind of download and figure out some strategies to counteract that guile play. And I mean, he's capable of doing so. I think it's a bit of a struggle for Fong, but if anybody's going to overcome that, it's Mono.
I think you're right. Yeah, I've seen Mono lose sets, even within grand finals, lose sets badly and then big time win in the second set.
Yeah.
So he can lose, adapt, and then win very, very quickly. And he has had some time here to think about how he's going to approach this differently. Of course, again, they've played a bunch in the past. He has a bunch of experience against Guile in general. So there's not going to be a lot that's new in that side here. But how is he going to approach things? It was this range right here that was great that Brian D avoided as much as he did. You know, Brian D was able to pressure, or he was able to be outside of that range. Right now we're seeing much the same so far, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of the time when we talk about characters having trouble in certain matchups, the trouble stems from not getting to play your primary game plan, right? And that's really what Guile makes Fong do. A lot of the time where Fong wants to sit and kind of pressure and play offensively, it's not a good spot for him to be in. However, when he can get the corner like this, run his gambit, oh, I love that setup right there. So you move, you get hit by the poison cloud, you don't, you get thrown. That is a Mono classic right there. What a block on the overhead. That was a ridiculous play from Brian D. Hold up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Man, falls out, right? Still alive, though. Honestly, it's Brian D. A lot of people would have been already dead.
Oh, I definitely would have been giving up. Good stuff from Brian D, though. The fortitude of a champion. And, yeah, that has a little bit of an ankle bracelet property to it right there, sending off a Sonic Boom. How? He actually stuffed the second instant overhead and then DP'd. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness. I have knocked the chair over. I cannot believe Brian D ended up winning that round. The defense
displayed by that man in the last, 40 seconds was ridiculous. And to also continue moving and getting the W in that round, that was just a fantastic end to that round.
Apologies if you heard the metal clanging, but I was not being facetious when I said that I knocked the chair over. I can't believe he blocked the first instant overhead, stuffed the second one, was ready with a DP, the flash kick once he reset on the ground. One of the greatest comeback rounds I've ever seen, straight up.
Amazing right there. He's in a similar position right now. It's even-ish on life, which is better for him, but he is in the corner. He's stuck here. Here's Mono. Still putting in a lot of frames there, just in case of the blocks.
That was so good. Mono just backing up. Letting him fall on top of the poison cloud. What a big challenge right there. Oh, no, he's got CA. That's the round. That's the set. 1-0 like that for Brian D.
Brian, even in rounds where he is getting cornered, where he's almost lost, he still gets those W's. Those W's?
How?
Right. From the opponent's perspective, if you can't even win when you've got the guy in the corner and you've got them down to almost death twice, not a great look for you to get the ultimate set in the end.
Holy smokes, this is definitely a game 1 loss that's got to be extremely tough to come back from. One of the most discouraging game 1 losses I probably have ever seen. But Mono, obviously with the mental fortitude and composure of a champion, he's got to have that short-term memory that we talk about when it comes to competition. You got to let that go, not carry the baggage forward in the set.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, here he is. Well, he was briefly almost into that corner.
Oh my goodness, Brian D is pressing big buttons as soon as he escapes it. Feeling real confident right now. Oh my. Yeah, with that way that first game win, how could you not be? He woke up with that again, the big heavy kick attempt.
It's a punish. Mono gets to set things up too with V-Skill 1 for cross-up or not.
Oh, and Brian D actually betting on the V reversal, right? That means he's not going to have V trigger, which has proven reliably successful in a couple of these sets. However, gets the combo off the meaty hitting Sonic Boom.
Wow, he is super aware. And moving to so many of the right spots as well, attacking at genius spots. I love what we're seeing out of Brian D. He's playing super well.
Yeah, even right there, just like the way he postured. He like walked forward a second, then stood still, and then crouched. Like, definitely feeling it up against Mono right now. Gets the sweep punish on the sleeves. Nothing is passing Brian by.
Again?
EX perfectly played. Oh, get out the sky. That's my territory.
Hoping for a knockdown. It's not quite there, but he neutral jumps directly over what Mono wanted to do, and Brian's got the corner just like that.
Oh my goodness, throws the EX command dash. He didn't get the overhead he was looking for, but another sleeves punish with the sweep. Brian D up 2-0 like that. And with what was a hard-fought, weird first game, the way it played out, it really feels like that kind of did a lot of mental damage.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The way that went right there was Brian just making the right calls so often, whether it was his wake-up flash kicks twice, both successful, or whether it was him getting the neutral jump at exactly the right time over things like coward crouch kick. He just was perfect on so many things.
Really, really impressive stuff here from Brian D in that losers finals. Attempting to get his run back up against Mena. Oh, Mono trying to make his way in, but gets crush counter for that trouble. Dragon suplex real quick. Does escape the corner and actually turns the momentum around.
That's wrong. And Brian was already in the sky as that roundhouse was starting.
Exactly right. Mono had committed to that option while Brian found that spot to jump out of it. Oh my goodness, okay. Yo, again, these somersaults, the flash kicks on these block strings with the V-Trigger 2 act that have been plaguing Mono.
Yeah, that's it. Mono hasn't been entirely dissuaded. He's still pressing buttons here. He's still getting in. Yeah, he was right.
Good stuff. Gets at least a little bit of a punish. And with that throw follow-up, puts himself on the board in terms of rounds. Mono here roaring back, fighting back. Oh, nice way to start that as well. Ducking the boom. He gets to get in that optimal range now. This is where you want to be as Fong. You got the corner. Brian trying to get frisky on the wake up. Eats a fierce for his trouble. Oh, and then the cross up. But he doesn't get the stun. Does do it with the jump out. That's pretty much the ideal round you could ask for.
Yeah, this is going to be grab or not. Hold on, maybe not, as Brian D's got the corner. He's made better comebacks than this already in this set. Why not again?
Oh, man, activates off that. Ooh, just picking his spots carefully. We've seen that again, just backing off in the corner, trying to get into that optimal range, so no matter what Mono does, he can thwart it. Oh, he recovers in time to not get punished. No sweep that time.
Here we go, activation. There's a super to think about. Yeah, he's looking for it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Mono finally with the game.
Ooh, buddy.
Nobody could feel safe there in that round right there after what we already saw out of Brian. Whew.
Yeah, after this set starting with one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen, there's definitely no way you could feel comfortable, feel any type of solid, no matter what your lead is going to be for the remainder of this set. Maybe on a different day, against a different opponent, you could feel comfortable again, but not right now, not here.
Walk forward instead. Mono's made a lot of bets about where to do the command dash, pretty close in. Yeah, they're just like that. So Brian D is making him pay right now in this round. That's good to see.
All right, chipping away again, the damage where he can. Oh, and Brian, the big back fist. Oh, Dragon suplex yet again, getting his Kenny Omega on. Now he's baiting him into stuff with the upside down kick. Strike or throw, my goodness, just jabbing away at him. Ah, and finally that right straight does what it needs to do, puts him on set point.
Yeah, super good round by Brian. Mid-range was there. And again, a lot of buttons at a lot of smart times. Mono with the confirm.
That full screen gone.
Dude woke up with stand mediums on. You know, sometimes you're just right. Like, what can you say?
Brian, yeah, I've seen him wake up with a heavy kick. Like, it's wild. He really has these hard reads sometimes up against Mono. Oh, just ducking out of the way entirely.
Yeah. Oh, that gives Mono trigger, though.
Brian blowing through a bunch of stuff, has the enhanced boom as well. Oh, just missed that.
It's coming on the wire here for Mono. What a chase! Hold on! And Brian needs any hit.
Oh my goodness, and Mono has no meter to his name, runs into the boom. Oh, and just at the last second gets caught flinching on the overhead. Perhaps holding up because he was standing up. And my goodness, what a way for Brian D to get back into grand finals right there. Get his run back with Mena, I should say, because that was really impressive from start to finish.
I totally agree. I loved what we saw out of Brian. Again, even in rounds where Mono seemingly should have taken it.
Yeah.
He was able to still get the W. And like I was saying, if you can't even win the rounds where you have the corner, you have the huge life lead, and you're like a sneeze away from winning for like 40 straight seconds, it's going to be tough to get the Ws in the other rounds too, and that's exactly how it went.
Man, yeah. Oh, perfect flash kick call out at the end right there. But yeah, you didn't even see on the replays the two blocked, or the first blocked instant overhead and the second thwarted one with the counter hit. Like, I cannot believe the defense he played in that first round. And, you know, we talked about it. We highlighted it after that first game. That is one of the hardest games to ever come back from, losing like that. And I really honestly thought that Mono was going to be able to kind of have that short-term memory and just let it go. But I don't know if that's what happened, to be honest. Brian D, it really, maybe around that third game where Mono picked up the W, it started affecting his, or stopped affecting his mental much. But up until that point, it really felt like he was kind of carrying that over in the next game.
In that last game right there, I feel like Brian had so many buttons and moment timings that were just very unorthodox from a Guile in those situations. He wasn't throwing booms at the timings when you would expect. He instead was walking forward a little bit at kind of unorthodox spots. He walked backwards a little bit. He played a style that is really hard to get a read on. And one of the things that I love about Guile in this game is that he is not a one-dimensional character who's just about throwing booms and flash kicks. It's much more than that for this character. And we saw that there, as it was so much about individual hits. It was about stealing turns with wake up roundhouse and stand strong. It was a very comprehensive win, I think, from Brian. Shout outs to him for that.
Yeah, incredible Guile play from start to finish. Big ups to Mono as well, of course. You know what I'm saying? Always enjoy seeing his Fong and just him in general. So he's going to be going home with third place today. A little bit cut of that prize pot, of course. But Brian gets his run back on the Guile. Going to be going up against Mena. Yeah, I love the way. That's the thing that kind of Guile lets you do a little bit if you want to take advantage of it, right? Is because he has such a potent Sonic Boom and projectile game. A lot of the time, if you want to shy away from that, you could sneak in getting into that range where the roundhouse or the bazooka knee or the soul bots get more effective and kind of throw off your opponent's rhythm. That's what we saw. And he's going to need to do something to throw off Mena, because that 3-0 winners finals, he looked dominant in it. But Brian, showing his capabilities, definitely can reset the bracket. We'll see if he can get the dub.
I think if he plays like that versus Mena, I think he could do anything. I feel like that Brian right there was somebody who can take on anybody in the world. Yeah. That was such a strong, strong match. That said, Mena, when they played, clearly had great reads on Brian, again, as a person, not necessarily even with character options, although, you know, he's got a character who has a lot of options in Luke. It was him, Mena, being able to call out exactly when to do ATP. It was his jump timings. It was just a lot of stuff like that. So Brian's going to have to really switch things up. And knowing how much experience they have against each other, it's really tough to, go up against one of your most frequently played opponents and really throw a monkey wrench into that. Like they're the person who you show your weird monkey wrenches to.
Yeah, exactly.
To then show against somebody else when you need to. They've already seen all of your stuff. So it's going to be really hard. Mena, again, this is probably his best chance to qualify for Capcom Cup. Again, he's not doing the World Warriors. He's running that thing for the region instead. Sure, Evo's still available. The LCQ's available. But here he is, only 3 games away from making Capcom Cup.
Man, and he is just so damn good. Time and time again, we talk about how solid Mena is in Street Fighter V, no matter the character, no matter the matchup. And really what I want to highlight going into this grand finals is his decision-making. And what it seems like to me, this is especially something I want to ask him about if he ends up getting the W and we get to interview him, is how much he takes into account his opponent countering certain strategies. Like, obviously, there's levels to being countered for your strategy, right? To where like you get countered in a certain way and you don't want to do it at all anymore. And it really feels like he never is in that situation. A lot of his strategies are kind of foolproof. And even when they're countered in a circumstance, they always have a high percentage of viability to them. And he always seems to go back to it, right? We talked about the jumps. We talked about the dashes. There's definitely a lot of things that Mena risk that a lot of players just won't at this level.
Okay. Unusual fierce timing. Works out. We already see some good stuff from Mena. Okay, here's Brian. And waiting, but not with the anti-air. Interesting.
Yeah, it looked like he stood up at the last second, maybe not confident in his non-charged anti-air.
However, Brian's got the corner. Triggers there. And now with no view reversal, maybe Brian can make it happen. He's got to respect it.
Ooh, Mena. Oh my goodness.
He is swinging. He really wants to get into super there.
Let him know
Crush
it's
into
too
super.
slow, bro. The reversal again because he's not concerned with that, right? Yeah, we know what he's looking for. He's looking for that super kick into CA. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised he didn't press it there. He tried to get it somehow, some way. Mena finds the hit that he needs, confirms in the CA, puts him in the grave with it. My goodness, I don't know how Mena ended up getting that done.
We talk about how that's almost exactly what happened with Brian D versus Mono in the last set, where Mena's way down in life. He needs like some specific things to happen, and they happen. And again, in this round, he's starting things out. Even there on the cross cut. And he's going to get Oki here, as you do.
A brutal round here for Brian D, who almost got whipped too. Mena, though, not letting up. Foot on the gas, but does run into a Sonic Boom in the process. And Brian, that was a big risk, but a smart one, honestly. You need a Hail Mary or two to bring this one back.
Mena is just getting everything right. Yeah, waking up with buttons consistently here. You can see the timidity in Brian's side, and that is such a change compared to how he played versus Mono. He gets baited into super, and Mena, excuse me.
Okay.
It's okay. Hey, whatever. Brian still can do it.
Somehow Brian gonna get this round out?
Why not?
No, he does not. The dash crouch jab just squeaks out the W for Mena. And yeah, right there, I'm not sure if he ended up pressing the jump button or it looked like he tried to land and punish. I'm not sure what happened. But either way, Mena does clutch out that round in the first game, taking a 1-0 lead. But I don't even know what to say about that game. Like, if I'm Brian, I shouldn't feel too discouraged. Like, both the rounds were close. There were weird decisions that ended up happening towards the end. I don't know.
That's true, but he has been caught into the corner pretty quickly in all of these rounds.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's here yet again. And I just get this sense that he feels much less comfortable than he did versus Mono.
Definitely.
Mena's there.
Nice.
Okay.
Try to put that Sonic Fang on top of me.
It's just always a challenge for Mena. Look at this guy.
Goodness.
I don't have the stats exactly, but it's something like half of the times, maybe more, that he's been knocked down. He's woken up with a button. He is active. He is doing stuff. And Brian is afraid, it seems to me, to challenge in those situations. The exact opposite of how he played versus Mono.
And that's why Mena's doing it, right? He's, I think, smelled the blood in the water himself. He's identified the fact that Brian, either his meaty timings are off, he's too scared of the EX reversal, and he's right now taking full advantage of that. Let's see here. Did wake up with a button right there, right? And Brian did a great job. Now you got to adjust. You got to keep it as meaty as possible. Give Mena RD something to worry about here. How we wake up here? Yeah, the back roll, respected the Sonic Fang, but oh no, the glass is getting crushed. Oh, the legs are getting clipped.
Yeah. Big trouble here for Brian. Anti-air, of course, from Mena RD.
And
You can't just jump out like that.
Bruh, the glass got crushed, the legs got clipped, the jumps got anti-aired, and just like that, Mena RD up 2-0 in an instant.
I did like a little bit of it from Brian. It seemed like he was less timid. He was moving forwards a little bit more. He was a little bit more active on Mena's wake up. Even on his own wake up, he was a little bit more active. Now, he did get crushed once for being as active as he was, but I'm happy to see that maybe there's a little bit more activity than there had been before. This time he anti-airs as well. Maybe he is making some changes. As Mena continues to move forward. No, Brian putting up a bit of a wall.
Yeah, right, Brian. I mean, he's got to try a different strat, right? If he can get a life lead early here, he can make Mena come to him a little bit more. You can see the back fist of the bazooka knee stuffing him on the way, but the bazooka knee actually left him in throw range. And we talked about how active Mena's been on defense. Immediately just goes for the throw and gets it. Oh, yeah, converting all the way through, spinning some of that V trigger in the process. Just wants to get that life lead. Tries to catch him flinching with the last bit of it there. Look at it, the sandblaster range. Go to work, fam. Smooth them out.
Brian knows he can't get touched. Oh!
That would have been bonkers if he would punish that with a DP. I'll tell you what.
Oh my god.
CA, though, that's going to put the first round on the board for Brian D.
Okay, yeah, as this goes on, we're seeing him definitely be a little bit more active, challenging a little bit better.
I like that from Mena.
They're finally whiff punished against the roundhouse.
Oh, yeah, right. And that's something that Mena has been looking for heavy since the first game. So I like Brian adjusting to that. I really like the way Mena opened this round, though. He identified Brian's aggression, just opened up with an EX Slam Blast, and now a beautiful confirm as well. We're in the corner. Oh, my goodness, getting shimmied out his boots right now. You can't afford another one of these, man. You can take a throw. You can't take two. Oh, no!
What a huge bet!
Risks the flash kick just outside that range. Mena, again, the smooth spacing calculations. Tournament point.
Not even an EX as well from Brian. He just had a very specific call out.
Yeah, straight up. Trying to go through the sandblast, I imagine.
That's my bet as well.
Oh, again, finding the crouch medium kick. My goodness, Mena rocking and rolling right now. He can smell Capcom Cup. He's been a champion before. You know he's trying to return to that territory. On the verge of it, gets another confirm. Already committed to the fireball, so then too big.
Brian's back to the hot dog stand. He's been there before.
Oh, man.
Mena. Oh, big chance finally for Brian. Does he get Toki here? Yes. Mena tried to press buttons again on Wake Up.
He did. He's been active with it consistently. Pretty much the only time he does it is off the back tech. So you can see even right there, regular tech, press the button. Back tech, tried for the EX reversal. Brian staying alive right here, calling it out. That was something that he actually decently read well up against Mena in that first set, was his EX reversals. He didn't get the set W himself, but there was a couple of instances where Mena paid heavily for those wake-up reversals. Makes him pay for it right here again.
It's actually the first loss that Mena has had in this top 8.
There you go. So big ups right here. Brian D showing why he's in this spot in the first place, right? Central America East won last year. You said like 13th place, then 5th place in Central America East 2. Right here, trying to get this dub, trying to go all the way for the first prize. Oh, stuffs that in reaction. I love it. Oh, and again, he saw him try to sneak up with the overhead.
Yeah.
Saw him scheming right there. Good punish on the sweep, though. Takes the target combo. Oh, and speaking of baiting out EX reversals, this time Mena RD. Huge optimal combo as well.
Challenge from Brian. Here we go. He'll be able to get out of the corner. On the strength of this, the baby booms are gone.
And now Mena's turn. He gets to play that V-trigger game. Has some enhanced projectiles of his own. Brian, though.
Okay, Brian with some buttons here. He's not just standing still. It's not quite enough.
Oh.
God, that is close.
Yeah, I did not think it was going to be that close. Puts him on a magic pixel. Oh, my goodness. Again, the dash crouch jab. We've seen Mena in rounds like that multiple times. So hard to react to if you catch your opponent flinching at just the latest moment. It's a dub, and man, he's been fishing for that crouch counter all set. Finds it to start this set.
Oh no, Brian! Gonna be stunned? Yes.
Oh.
2 hits effectively into the stun. One more combo is going to send Mena RD to Capcom Cup.
The V skill tried to take the throw and did so successfully. Staying alive for now, but Mena RD, he is cooking, locked and loaded. In his corner, backdash is just cool, calm, and collected with his pressure. And again, Brian, he's trying some of these Hail Mary plays, but no prayers will be answered today. Mena RD takes it 3-1 and will qualify for Capcom Cup.
Congrats to Mena RD. So deserving, and again, this was his best chance to do it. So the fact that he did, in fact, make it happen, it's gotta feel good. With his character right there on Luke, again, he's just got so many options, and you can see that as a player, he's somebody who keeps so many options in mind at all times. He is constantly thinking about what to do. He's not afraid to press buttons. He's not afraid to make the big reads, but he also is just so consistent. His spacing is so good. And he just really has everything that you need to not only make Capcom Cup, but to absolutely be somebody at the top of everybody's conversation for EVO next weekend.
You know, I couldn't have said it better myself. Mena RD, one of the best players in the world, bar none. Capcom Cup champion, second at the recent Saudi Arabian offline tournament. He's going to be one of the favorites to go extremely far in EVO. Captain of Team North America in the Team North America versus Europe team battle that's going down the Friday of EVO. Like, this man has answered the call in every instance, whether it's as a player, whether it's as a TO, whether it's as a leader of a region. This man will step up to the plate. He is not one to shy away from responsibility. He's not one to shy away from adversity, and that's why he is a champion time and time again. I mean, I just cannot stop being impressed by this man.
Absolutely agree with that. As we're seeing Mena get the final jump over and the final W that sent him in the Capcom Cup. There's a look at what we saw. So Mena RD making it 3-0 over Jimmy, making it 3-0 over Brian in winners finals. Did lose one game to Brian D in that grands, but that was not what mattered in the end, as it was the 3-1 for Mena RD to take it. Congrats to him. You see the other players there. Brian D second, Mono third. After that, you had in fourth Ajax Fidelity, Strange Hail, Jimmy GR, and then Tenryu and Crossover in the top 8.
Yeah, incredible top 8. Most definitely big ups to all of our players. I'm a big fan of everybody that competed today. And Mena RD, again, just so impressive considering the work he does outside of just being a player. To still be this sharp in Street Fighter V, this deep into the game's lifespan. After winning a Capcom Cup, what did you say, like 5 years ago?
I believe so.
The fact that he stayed so consistent throughout all of this is a feat in and of itself. Just incredible play. He's continued to evolve as a player on top of everything else. So well done to Mena, of course.
I hear that, man. It's been awesome to see. Let's talk about something that's coming out soon. Soon is when you can play the Capcom authorized mobile game Street Fighter Duel. It's available for download in China now. I'm not interested in now, but the global version is coming soon. That's where I'm paying attention. The Epic Legend is reborn on mobile. Download Street Fighter Duel soon, and let's fight for each other and join the journey with millions of players to become the best fighter.
Indeed, indeed. Well done. And of course, you guys know what the deal is. That means, well, Luke, he had his tracksuit unlocked already? Who knows? Yeah, Luke's tracksuit already unlocked. I'm not sure if we'll get the consolation birdie. I don't know how that's going to go down. However, you guys know what the deal is. The tracksuit colors are on the line for every single one of these Capcom Pro Tour events. Whoever gets the big dub means all the additional tracksuit colors are unlocked for that character. Of course, if you're a Luke player, that means you're smart, number one. And number two, you've been had these tracksuit colors unlocked, so you've been styling on your opponents with whatever colorway you want. So big ups to Mena again. If they weren't unlocked already, he would have made sure they get unlocked now. So the tracksuit colors in the book, Luke's out and all that. Make sure you grab the tracksuits as well. Actually supports the Capcom Pro Tour. So big ups to everybody that's copped them out there.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're hoping to get the winner interview. You wouldn't go anywhere, right? You would not leave. Oh, sure, the matches are over. You wouldn't go anywhere because you want to hear what Mena RD has to say. Stick around for that. Thanks for sticking around. I knew you would. I believed in you. I knew you would.
Oh, yeah.
We saw a great top 8 today here at Central America East, a.k.a. the Caribbean. Ultra David, Ringe, we had the luck of being able to call it for you. As I said, we're going to have a winner interview. Before we do that, let's briefly talk about what we saw.
Yeah, amazing matches from start to finish. Our top 8 was a fire. Fuego, as per usual. We saw Mena RD able to take down Jimmy DR and Brian D able to take down Mono in our winners semifinals in 2 phenomenal sets. And when we saw play out with Mena RD running away with that winners finals position 3-0, drop down into that losers bracket to see some more great action. Strange Hell showing out with that Ryu until he ran into Mono, right? Mono did a great job really taming the beast that was Strange Hell up until this point. Again, that was a Puerto Rico on Puerto Rico battle, right? So Mono, it seemed like he was a bit more familiar with the pace and tendencies that Strange Hell would bring to the table than a lot of the other players. Then Fidelity on the other side, Ajax really showing out, man. An incredible tournament for him, taking down the likes of Lilo, Kaba, Crossover, Jimmy DR, and pushing Mono to the very brink 3-2 before he got into the losers finals.
Yeah, I think of him and Brian, I think, in this top 8 in particular. Yeah, you know, Mena won it. I think that was, he was one of the favorites for sure. One of the, you know, maybe 3 to 4-ish favorites. Yeah. Not a big surprise. Instead, not that it was a huge surprise, I guess, that Brian would make grand finals, winners and then grand finals. But the way that he did it and the way that he took down Mono twice, 3 games to 1, is just a really good statement on his side. I was very impressed by his play. I think when it came to him versus Mena RD, it was a case of him, you know, going up against somebody who just knows him too well.
It seemed like
but
that.
For somebody else to face against him seems very, very difficult. And Brian D versus Mono, that match, that caliber of play he was playing at, if he could play like that versus everybody, I feel like he's one of the best in the world. That was just an amazing, amazing display. And I feel similarly about Ajax Fidelity. It wasn't until Mono got there that he was finally shut down. And as you said, that was right at the brink. That was an extremely close last round situation between those two. So for him, who has really stepped it up, again, has been a good player, but has really stepped it up big time, having gotten first place in their World Warrior event in this region recently, and then 4th place here. Those are a couple of great results. But yeah, Mena RD first place, 2nd place Brian, 3rd place Mono, 4th place Ajax Fidelity. You can see Strange Hell and Jimmy, and then Tenryu and Crossover to round it out. And, you know, look, this region is so strong. We're not even talking about players like Kaba, who didn't make it, Louis Man, who didn't make it, Hermes didn't make it, several others who did not even make it. It is a very, very talented region.
Yeah, that is, to say the least. Big ups to Central America East once again, showing out as they always do. You can always count on them for some amazing Street Fighter action, and they deliver once again, of course, with Mena RD, the Titan of the region, former Capcom Cup champion, qualifying to make his return to Capcom Cup. Do we have the man, the champ, on the line? I'm hoping we do, of course. Oh, Mena RD, what's good, fam?
What's good, family? What's good? How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Feeling great about that tournament.
Man, it's nice because, like, I feel like I've been in this spot a couple of times with Mena Winner's interview for Capcom Pro Tour, where he qualifies for Capcom Cup, but finally we got Capcom Cup for real back, right? So you're going to be able to return to that promised land. It's a beautiful thing for sure. Now, for my first question, I do have something alluding to EVO for you a little bit. We know EVO's next week, of course. We know that you're going to be there. Does you now qualifying for Capcom Cup help or hurt your drive going into EVO at all? Because obviously that is another Capcom Cup qualifying position, right? So now that you've qualified for that, does it affect you at all going into your EVO run?
No, actually, the only person this affects is Brian. I guess he qualified for Capcom Cup, or I don't know, because I'm counting on winning EVO anyway. I don't care if I was qualified or not.
That is the answers that I like to hear. Most definitely. That is a fantastic answer.
Well, you've really been putting in work big time and traveling a lot, too. Something I wanted to ask you about. You were at the Saudi event not long ago. You know, here you are back home, and then this coming weekend is going to be Vegas. It's a ton of travel. It's a ton of time spent. How do you keep your skills as high as they are with that kind of schedule?
Well, the first thing is that I always carry my gaming laptop with me, and I have been really disciplined with the game. Street Fighter 6 is almost out, and I didn't get to meet all the goals I wanted to, and I guess this is the last competitive year of the game, so I want to do it all this year, and I have been playing every single day. Even if I'm in the airplane and I can play, I'm gonna study the bots, I'm gonna download videos, and as soon as I land, I'm gonna play. As soon as I landed into Saudi Arabia, a 30-hour plus flight I played like 200 games with the birds. So it's just a lot of consistency with the game, and I've seen the improvements. Like it really works.
Yeah, I feel like you've been playing so well constantly. And it's great to hear the work ethic paying off. So I have a question that's a little bit, I guess, just of my personal bias. Something that I really want to know is that your decision making in these games at this high level, I think, is a little bit. It has some uncharacteristic decisions when I look at other high level players. For example, like your matchup against Gamer B in Saudi Arabia, right, where it was like the Luke Mir, I think that was losers finals or something like that. You were willing to jump on the Luke, just like you were willing to jump on the Guile here. I feel like a lot of players in your position kind of keep their feet planted on the ground, even when someone's kind of just projectile zoning them down. Can you kind of like elaborate a little bit on your willingness to do these things up against these opponents?
I think the thing is you have to play to your strengths. The way I play, it's like I can be really good at the traditional way of playing. I can do fireball, I can anti-air, I can be patient. But my strength, what makes me special, I think, in the game, is the pattern recognition. I see the patterns. I know what people are weak to, and I feel like I have to take those risks to win, to be special against these kind of players. If I play Tokido, who fights the traditional style in Japan every single day, 500 times, I might lose because I don't have that much exposition to that style. But he doesn't have exposition to the mana style. That is seeing a pattern and then trying to punish it, even if it requires a risk. And that can like get a lot of people off guard. But also, then if I do it, they put their attention into that, and I can play clean, and they might get hit a lot, or waiting for me to jump or to dash or anything. If I decide to play patient, then they are in that mind game.
That's a fantastic answer. That's exactly what I wanted to know. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I want to extend on that a little bit. To me about your character selection. You historically played Birdie, but we've seen you play a ton of different characters over the last few years. Today, Luke, but we see you play a lot of characters pretty often. How do you make those choices, and is it related to your capitalizing on what you feel like is your strengths?
Well, I try to play matchups completely in an optimized way. I don't try to go by feeling. Let's say I really love Guile Birdie because it's a matchup I played a lot. But if it worst comes to worst, I'm gonna try Luke. I try Luke against Brian because Luke is the best blind pick option. But my actual option against Guile is Balrog. So I try to be objective with it. Like, what's the best matchup that I have? And if I'm losing it, then I just have to grind it out. I made that mistake in Saudi. I went Birdie against Crimson. That didn't go well. And it's still another lesson. I'm still trying to adjust to that. But I have to be objective in the characters that I play and the matchups that I decide to play.
Let's talk about your scene and the Caribbean. It is a scene that over the last several years has had so much more exposure than had previously been there, and we've seen a ton of strong players. I feel like we're on at least like the second or third generation, maybe even, of Street Fighter V players from that scene. You talked a little bit, even in the quote that we had from you about Jimmy. Can you talk about the development of that scene, and without pumping your own horn too much, like how much you feel like you and your CPT win and your efforts TOing have made an impact on that?
It has definitely it has an impact, but nothing is gonna happen if people don't put the effort in. I can be the greatest inspiration. I can make the best tournament. I can give free money to people to play Street Fighter, and if they don't have it in them, if they don't want to put that effort and have that consistency, nothing is gonna happen from that. So there's zero merit to me in these players being better. It's all them. I just try for them to have the better tools than what I had when I first started. But that doesn't mean that I had anything to do with the process. Like today, let's say Brian is right here in my house. He has a station here, good internet. He doesn't have electricity problems, and I made sure of that. But even if everything was perfect for him to play, if he didn't put the effort and sucked at the game, he was not gonna go far. So that's the thing. Like I don't feel I directly impacted that much, but I did help with having that platform, you know, having a place to go, having someone to ask advice to, and that helps in the process. But the end result, it's 95% personal effort.
Man, I'm gonna get to, like, I don't even know what to say. That was such a good answer. Like, my goodness, I don't know. Your sponsors are a lucky team for sure. You definitely know how to talk, my man. That is definitely super, super good, super wholesome to hear for sure. So we're gonna get out of here, but before we do, I want to hear, you are captain of Team North America. You took that on. You took that responsibility yourself. You said, I seen you on Twitter. You got a bone to lick, a bone to pick with Mr. Crimson. You know what I'm saying? I want to know. But I know you're obviously looking for that run back. But let me just get your general thoughts going in, or a message you want to send to EU ahead of the rivalry.
Well, NA versus EU, just, you know, enjoy the show. Go and see that exhibition. Go enjoy Evo. Enjoy. Everybody in the FEC is going to be there. I'm going to see you guys there, Rich and David. And
oh, yeah.
Just go support the community, even if you don't travel there. See the content. And, you know, if you see something you don't like, just, you know, give the advice, give the feedback. But please enjoy that. And that's the most important thing, that it's fun. Even if we win, if we lose, we're going to win. But that's what matters, that people enjoy it. And something that I want to get off my chest is that even if I won with Luke already got the collars unblocked, and I used Birdie in the tournament, so I want Birdie's collar unblocked. That's what I want. I was worrying about that. Okay. I was thinking about picking Birdie for the last game, but no. Unlock Birdie collars, please.
That's what
I wanted to say.
I'm glad.
I don't know if we have that power, but
I used them.
It's true. It's true. You did. You used them, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's not up to us, dude. But, you know, you can make your case. Hey, congrats again, dude. You played great. Very, very well deserved. And we will see you next weekend at Evo.
See you guys. Take care.
All right, bud.
All right. Once again, man, taking Central America East. And yeah, like those answers, the best answers I could have asked for, honestly. Insightful, humble, wholesome, just overall, what a champion for sure. Glad that he's qualified for Capcom Cup. We're going to be seeing him at EVO. Dave, you got anything to say before we get out of here, my man?
Look, we knew it was going to be a good top 8. And it was. Tons of very interesting stuff happened. Lots of cool storylines in this region. I'm glad that we had a chance to highlight lots of interesting characters in this region that are just rarities as well. That was a blast. And ultimately taken by the player who was definitely the best on the day and has historically for a long time now been one of the best in the region and in the world. Congratulations to Mena RD. That's going to do it for us here. Thanks a lot for joining. Make sure that you check out EVO next weekend.
EVO next weekend. Do you understand that? This is the World Championships going down Friday, August 5th through Sunday, August 7th. You can get all the details you need at evo.gg, because you need to know when it starts and you need to know when it finishes, because you need to clear your schedule for the entire tournament. Again, this is the World Championships. Winner qualifies for Capcom Cup. This is as big as it gets when it comes to the fighting game community. Don't get it twisted.
After that, CPT Australia will be the very next weekend. So if you are in Australia, please make sure to register. The registration's open. Get in there. Make it happen. If you're not there, hey, there's another good thing to watch in just a couple of weeks. After that will be Central America West. There's a lot of strong players in both of those regions. So please check out both of them. That's a little insight into what is going to be coming up next. Coming up soon. Lots of stuff happening soon here on the CPT stream.
Most definitely. Thank you all once again for joining us for this top 8. We got to get the hell out of here. I'm going to Vegas right now because that's how excited I am for EVO. I'm literally getting out of the studio and heading on over. Y'all should do the same if you're going to EVO. If not, then please be sure to tune in. Thank you for tuning in today. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. And we will see y'all very soon. Also avoided. About fireball. Oh, and he finds the sleep activate. As soon as he got it, that's why. Oh, knew exactly where Lilo was going to go. Yeah, turn the movement. The lead trigger tries to turn Lola, but then he says reality enough for the kill. Pop to the dome. Take it to the corner.
Oh, it can all change. It can all go totally different now. It all went downhill so fast.
Choosing DP a little bit too much. And because of that, you get mad. Man, it's so on point. And getting a slight hesitation right there, catching Jimmy pressing buttons. Oh! So clean. Lure him into the false.
Got a lot of EX meters, man. Taking that opportunity. This time he's looking for it.
Good stuff from
And the
Ajax.
combo!
Woo!
Nice. Still gets the push into the corner. Does he get all the way through? Yes.
He does, right. He has been continuing going for the resets. He got an
There,
overhead.
no!
Oh, it shut down the V trigger just in time.
It's not over here. And then, hold on though, Brian D.
He's fully loaded in terms of resources.
Go for the knockdown. Oh, what a challenge!
When they respond with the sleep, that was great recognition of the range. Oh no, he didn't complete the combo. Bust out from EX and Ajax. Chipping away, getting the damage where he can. Oh, and Brian, the big back sticks. Oh, trap roll, expected the Sonic Fang, but oh no, the glass is getting crushed. Oh, the legs are getting clipped.
Yeah.
Just cool, calm, and collected with his pressure. And again, Brian, he's trying some of these Hail Mary